Forever. Come on, baby, light my fire. Ready for the show. Now I feel your love desire. Please don't ever go. I don't care, I'm so excited. Now I feel so free. Paradise into your eyes, so let it be. All the time, I need your shiny smile. Tonight I'm really gonna play. You know that life is just a game. Forever young, we're all for one. Forever love and fun, until the morning sun. Forever.
Welcome to my little amalgamation project I like to call Fate Prism. This is a tabletop RPG combining elements of D&D, Fate Core, and a few homebrew specialties that I'm sure everybody will appreciate when they die from it. Now, just like before, we have our same teammates. We have AI Ignister, we have Atlas Core, and we have Raven. But you might notice the Zivith is not with us at the moment. That is because, due to scheduling conflict and needing to run an errand first, he's running behind. But we've actually accommodated that in the story element, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So, let's immediately just dive right in. At the end of the previous session, Barry stormed off when Lind showed up and got the heebie-jeebies creeped out of him.
Perverted ass spider.
And after the recommendation that he gave to Ignis and Joseph to go and see a movie, you two followed him home, as well as your chicken companion, and decided to sleep in for the night, ending day quote-unquote 0. Which means that this will be session 1 of day 1, which will be May 14th in the morning. So it's roughly 8 a.m. Everybody should be waking up around this time. So go ahead and take over from here and discuss what you plan to do with the day.
I guess go start making breakfast, considering my hunting experience.
That's perfectly fine. You guys still have about 7 days worth of travel food, which means you don't have to worry about making anything. It's pretty much all pre-made food.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning.
It's kind of weird for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't had any roommates since back when I was in college. So that bed is not big enough for me.
Well, considering how big you are, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Let's dig in these packs here. I really hope they packed some coffee in these things. Instant coffee.
They actually did. They did give you a few
did
rounds
they?
of
It wasn't on
instant
the
coffee.
list.
Yeah, but to-go food can mean literally anything you want it to mean. It could mean prepackaged PB&J for all I care.
Wait.
Joseph comes walking down the stairs a bit groggily as well. Somebody say coffee? Stuff's overrated.
I don't even know what this coffee is.
Oh, it's well, you see here, you got these beans. They're coffee beans. You grind them up. You run some hot water through them. The hot water takes all the nutrients and juices and such out of the bean, and then you drink the coffee.
Barry, don't sugarcoat it. It's just bean water with caffeine in it.
Caffeinated bean juice.
I mean, that is exactly what it is, but caffeine, hell, coffee's good.
Joseph lifts up his mask slightly and takes his flask from under his jacket. Besides, you're probably better off with this stuff than coffee.
Well, Joseph, if you don't drink coffee, tell me, how do you start your morning? Cause I'm gonna start brewing some coffee.
Well, how I started my mornings originally was saying good morning to my comrades and teammates before heading out to the next mission. But, well, now I gotta babysit you two, so I guess I can have a similar experience.
I'm about to say, what are we if not comrades at this point, Joseph? Come on now. Babysit. Saying we're babysitting. Saying where you got babysit us, it's just impolite. Now,
I
maybe
just
say
take a
him,
bite
maybe.
from
I
my food.
pointed Ignis, and maybe say him, maybe. But that I can believe.
Speaking of babysitting, where's Chimo at? Did she not even come home last night?
That
Probably off
That's a very good
wandering
question.
around.
What's new?
Oh well.
Oh yeah, speaking of the mission, the thing Linda mentioned last night has been crawling in my mind.
What did he mention? As much as I don't like him, I do want to know what y'all was talking about.
He mentioned something about an event that got turned into a movie. That got me thinking, what if we could get some information from that movie?
What was the
Information
movie
on how
about?
about a bunch of people looking for a way to get out of this place. Apparently, it's a local legend that they managed to escape or failed. I don't remember the specifics, but it'd be a good place to start.
Hmm.
That's like a pretty good idea. Do we happen to know when this movie is showing?
That is a good question. I guess we could try looking it up.
Well, since you guys don't have internet access, your only real option would actually be to go there and find out.
Yeah, actually, let me look up what section is the movie theater at? Like, what section of the city? Probably the entertainment junction, if I had to guess.
I know it's like at the top of the map.
Actually, no, it's not in the entertainment junction. It's actually in the business district.
Really? Huh.
I might have put it in there by accident, but nope. You know what? That's on me. I forgot to put it in the list. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, it's in the business district now, I guess.
Nah. I'm putting it in entertainment junction. That's where it should have been all along. Give me one sec.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, no. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that would be kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, technically it's a business, but like, you get the point.
Yeah, it is a business who is distributing entertainment.
Yeah. Said every strip joint ever.
Well, I mean, there is another form of entertainment we can go through.
If you know where to look.
What
Yeah.
what are you referring to?
Well, I'm not gonna say it.
Are you gonna corrupt the innocent Beetle Boy's mind?
No.
I mean,
It's called.
Barry's worked with wrestlers. He knows that exists. He's not innocent per se. He just doesn't partake in it.
That's
It's
fair.
not that ain't his bag. You know what I mean?
That is fair. All right.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this already. I'm not even gonna lie.
Okay. So yeah, where was the entertainment is in Southwest. We're in the residential district at home currently, which is in the east. So yeah, I guess we just Yep, I guess we have some breakfast, drink some coffee. Except for you, because apparently you don't like coffee, Joseph. And
I
go
have a
go
more
check out
preferred
movie.
taste right here.
Yeah, Ignis, I'll fix you like a small sip of coffee. That way you can taste it for yourself.
All right.
And yeah, in a couple minutes I'll bring over one nice big mug of coffee for myself and one kind of smaller mug for Ignis, just so he can taste it. It's a little bitter, but some people like to put a little bit of sweetener in there to help tone that back. So that's just a down to your taste type of thing. Me, I prefer my coffee just straight.
I keep drinking the coffee and it burned my mouth.
Oh, be careful, it's hot. Oh.
I mean,
No, it's not for the character. It's for like actual. I actually did burn my mouth.
art imitates life.
Truly.
All right. Well, then let's say from here, you
Method
guys.
acting at its finest. Can we applaud Ignister real quick?
Sure. Now, so let's say you guys all had your quote unquote breakfast of choice, if you can even call it that. And
Well, I just had Nutribricks, let's be honest.
yeah, fair enough.
We got shitty brand cereal.
No.
All right.
Anything but that.
And then you guys will start your day from there. Now, before we go any farther, though, I need to stress on something. You recall in the last session, Barry had an opportunity to re-roll one of his rolls because it fit a character-defining function of his character sheet.
Yes, the fate rolls thing.
Yeah, the fate points. See, what happens is at the start of every session, every single one of you, well, every single day, rather, I guess I should say, every player gets a certain number of fate points, and in my game, you get 1 equal to your level at the start of every day. So, every one of you make a mark that you have a fate point that can be used to re-roll or add +2 to any roll so long as it is in line with something your character would need it for.
Question: if you don't use your fate point in a day, do they carry over to the next day, or is it?
No.
Or do they get wiped off? Okay.
Yeah, it's use it or lose it.
Use it or lose it. Gotcha.
It's not really a net loss if we don't use it at all or not able to.
Mm-hmm. And bear in mind,
our rolls are good.
and they're thematically appropriate points too. So it's not like you're going to have an opportunity to use them every single time.
Mm-hmm.
They're situational, just based on what our characters, I was gonna say what our characters are good at, but not necessarily even that. Just who our characters are.
Exactly, which is one of the defining features of Fate and why I like the system so much. And bear in mind, you can use these in combat and out of combat as long as you can find a way to make it make sense.
Mm.
Anyway, I'm going to attack the moon, Nanashi. I can totally explain this.
The sad part is, if you can find a way to do that, I might be willing to allow it.
I mean, he could just shoot the moon. I don't think the sniper rifle's got that much power behind it, let's be honest.
Maybe at some point. Who knows? I don't. But yeah, so you guys have all had your breakfast of choice. You've all got your fate points for the quote-unquote day. And you're going to be marching your happy butts down to the entertainment district to get a look at this movie.
If we got some time before the move, we might ought to go shopping for some more casual wear. As nice as this tactical military clothing is, it's a little uncomfortable to walk in.
Is there even going to be clothes that fit you?
Well,
That's a very good question.
as it happens, in the business district, one of the largest businesses on the map is a mall.
Oh, lovely.
So if you guys want to do that first, we can do that, or we can do that after you're done wherever you're going for the movie.
Well, I figure we ought to go see about the movie first, just because, we don't want to miss it.
Sounds good to me. All right, so it takes you about, let's say, 30 minutes to walk from your home in the residential district to the entertainment area. Like, I'm not going to include travel time as a part of this. I will use it for certain things, but otherwise I'm just not going to pay attention to it.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. The Pale Yellow Building is an old-fashioned type theater, the kind your history books would call a Nickelodeon. The entryway has a ticket seller, the overhead and side displays are all lit in very colorful and stylish ways, and the sign hanging above it just has an image of an old-fashioned movie projector, the type that uses tape reels. But you do see a bullet hole directly in front of the camera lens on the sign.
Well, that's just lovely.
This brings up a whole new question. Do you think they manufacture? Do you think there's a gun store in the? Do you think there's a gun store in the business district?
There might be.
You know what? I'm not gonna think about the implications of that question. Let's go catch a movie. Ooh, speaking of coffee, I just got some.
Nice. All right. Well, the ticket seller right in front of the main door is a rather short, tough-to-ear owl man sitting on a stool, fidgeting with a purple pendant out of boredom. He's wearing a red vest trimmed in gold over a white dress shirt, traditional movie theater worker stuff, and he's wearing a
Harry
gold...
Potter, calm down.
And he's wearing a gold name tag reading AWAR. And when he sees you approaching, he drops his pendant and says, welcome. I'm assuming 3 for the magic circle?
Yes.
Magic circle.
Yes, as much as I'd like to offer you something to the alternative, if you take a look at our roster, you'll see the magic circle's the only one we have tickets for right now. And if you take a look at the movie list, it shows that 5 of their 6 movies are sold out. The 5 that are sold out are Fast and Furious 7, What We Do in the Shadows, Mad Max Fury Road, Inside Out, and It Follows.
To think they could.
How'd they get movies in here, Nanashi?
That's an interesting question, isn't it?
How did they get modern movies in here, Nanashi? We don't have internet access.
An interesting question. Hopefully you get an answer to that soon.
I was about to say,
I need to compile a list of these questions for the next time we go see Akarui.
Probably a good idea.
I'm making a separate notepad.
You know what? Go for it. Go for it, man.
Yeah.
Actually,
okay,
I was gonna take this opportunity because Joseph's just looking at the movie list, and he is aware of these people were not shutting up about these movies, so he just looks back at the owl and then it's like, so I like the authentic theater experience here, but how did you get movies from the Outer Lands? Aren't you, like, disconnected?
You guys are new here, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're new, and there's a whole lot we don't seem to understand, but everyone explains it as magic fuckery, so I just went along with it.
Well, that's pretty much how it is. We are able to recreate movies, books, and things like that thanks to some special magic that a good friend of pretty much everybody on the island has access to.
So you have a movie guy who gets you the movies.
In a manner of speaking, but it would take me way too long to explain. Your movie actually starts in about 15 minutes, and I don't want you guys to miss your snack chances.
You know what? That sounds good to me.
Before they buy the tickets, Ignis whispers to Barry and Joseph, "The magic circle might be the movie we're looking for, anyways. Considering from my knowledge, none of these movies match up."
I mean, it's not like we
Well, that was obvious, but we still need to ask in
It's not like we have
general.
much choice. All the other movies are sold out anyway.
And looking at the other movies, you're telling me you wouldn't ask the same question?
I don't even know what half of these movies are.
Where did you grow up, boy?
Did you forget that I grew up in poverty?
Yeah, but you can like look at posters and shit.
Like, I spend most of my time hunting.
Hunting where? Like poverty doesn't.
How homeless were you?
Barry,
So
You know what? As much as I would love to hear about your backstory, I'm afraid there's a conversation for another time. I want to go get popcorn before the movie.
all
So I'm
right,
going to turn back to Mr. Owlman and purchase 3 tickets.
all right, that'll be 15Z, please.
Yeah, I assume we brought money with us. We're not stupid.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
Hand him.
Speaking of
And
which,
money.
when you look into your pouch, you notice that about a fourth of your money is gone, which means the Chimo took some of it with her, so she wouldn't be walking the streets broke.
You know what? On one hand, I want to be mad, but on the other hand, kind of reasonable. The issue is smart enough to do that.
Yeah, and she's not, rude enough to take it all. Yet.
Yeah, exactly. She's got to figure out how hard she can push us first.
Yeah. All right, so you guys have bought your tickets, and he tells you that your theater is the last one on the right. Now, when you go inside, the main lobby is small but cozy. The walls are a gorgeous tan orange. The theater entrances are 3 each on the left and right walls, and the back wall past them is occupied by a snack counter. And you can smell that popcorn scent immediately.
I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm doing the sniffing noise in real life, but I don't think my mic's picking it up.
It's fine. I'll include that in
Damn
case we
it.
couldn't.
Just-
Now,
oh,
the Condor man running the snack booth has well-groomed blonde hair and wears the same uniform as Awar, his gold name tag reading Dolma. You also notice he is wearing braces, and it's more obvious when he speaks that he is not used to them. Can I help you?
Yes, so give us just 1 second. Hey guys, what do you want? What kind of snacks y'all feeling like?
Well, let me give you a quick rundown. The popcorn is fresh, there are 6 different seasonings, and their butter looks real. Their soda machine has 16 spouts with 12 flavors of soda, 4 of which are diet, and 4 separate flavors of lemonade. And their glass candy display is full of all the classic snack foods you expect. Peanut butter, chocolate, hard and soft candies, chocolate bars, licorice, gummy candies, malted milk balls, taffy bites, the works.
Almost. How? I want to know the logistics of this city so badly.
The best way to find out is to explore and ask questions, which you've been doing pretty good so far.
You know what? Never mind. Barry did not ask Joseph and Ignis what they wanted. Barry's just marveling at the variety. Excuse me there, fella. We're rather new in this city. It's the first time in this theater. How do you procure all of this here? You're a closed-off city.
All of our ingredients are naturally locally grown by the farmlands.
How do you grow candy?
We grow the cocoa beans and the peanuts for the peanut butter. How do you think?
You know what? You're right. You're right.
Joseph puts a hand on Barry's bicep because he can't reach up to his shoulder and it looks at him like it's magic fuckery. That's all this island is.
I'm gonna look at the Condor fella whose name you said, but I as a player already
Dolma.
forgot. Dolma. You know what? Dolma, you're right. My apologies. I got a little excited.
He points a thumb at the menu. Bags of popcorn are 1Z for a small, 2Z for a large. Sodas are 1Z for a small, 2Z for a large, and each candy is 1Z per pack.
All right. Now I'm gonna look over to the two goobers. What do you two thinking you want?
Just give me a small popcorn.
All right. So no drink, no candy. That popcorn will make you real thirsty, Ignis. Money is not a problem right now. You were just talking about you lived in poverty. You can have everything you want in this moment.
Oh boy.
Okay, maybe not everything, but everything within reason. Let me be more specific.
Well, yeah, of course. You know what? Yeah, just bump that up to a large.
So, okay, you're gonna large popcorn and a drink. Oh yeah, Ignis, small and large drink. If you don't decide within 10 seconds, I'm gonna say small.
Large.
Alright, Joseph, what about you?
Just a medium popcorn and a small soda.
Well,
He
they
didn't
only have
say
small and
Mola.
large.
Damn it.
Sorry, man.
Well, fine, just medium then.
We don't have medium. Fine, I'll take a medium.
Okay,
No,
he'll also have a large popcorn and a large
No, I
drink.
was
So I'm
talking-
trying to get him to communicate.
No, I said a small drink, didn't I?
No, you said medium again.
No,
man.
I said
I got it
medium
on
again.
recording. I can prove
Oh
it.
shit. Oh shit. Sorry, I accidentally repeated myself.
It's fine. It's fine.
Rewind
Don't
the
mess the
tape.
character now.
Okay, I like to rewrite that in character and just say large.
Alright, large popcorn, large drink for my buddy. I'll take 2 large popcorns and a large drink, and that candy right there. I'm not gonna specify which one because I, as a player, don't really care that much about which candy, but Barry is gonna get some form of candy as well.
We'll just keep it simple and basically give you the peanut butter cups. 4 large popcorn, 3 large drink, 1 snack. That's 15Z. Since you bought in bulk, we're gonna give you a discount and make it 14.
Yes, sir. Hand over the. Is it all coins? Am I literally just giving him 15 coins?
You're giving him 15 of the coin. They come in denominations of 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so they do come in different denominations. Got it. I was about to say, imagine if we have to like pay 100Z for something that doesn't count.
Nah.
Like, imagine.
Nah, I caught you in advance for that one. Don't worry about that.
All right, fantastic. Yeah. We pay the money. Pay the man.
All right. Well, as Awar at the front said, your theater is the last door on the right. So now that you got your snacks, I guess you'll head in. The theater itself is small, but well maintained. The walls are painted deep, swirling shades of orange, green, and purple. The black stone-like floors are fairly clean, and the 100-ish padded metal seats are well used but in good shape. They also have cup holders.
With all that we got, I'm surprised that it was a lot cheaper than anything on the mainland.
Now, on your way in, you spot a short but excessively fluffy snow owl woman with white shoulder blade long hair and an identical uniform as the prior two, her gold name tag reading Mallory, and she's carrying a short broom and dustpan and doing aisle inspections before the movie starts. When you approach, she very quickly sweeps up the last little bit of popcorn on the ground and shuffles her way out the door.
Barry will wave politely, which I don't know how he does holding a drink and 2 large buckets of popcorn, but he does.
He wiggles 2 fingers.
Exactly, there you go.
Imagine if he had multiple arms like an actual bug.
Now,
I should have thought about that when I was character creating. Damn it.
dude, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the
That would have
world.
been so cool, though.
It would have, but don't worry about it. I'm sure we can probably do something cool with that later if we
I'm a
felt
bug.
like it.
I'll metamorphose eventually.
Possibly. You're not done evolving yet. You're not old enough to not evolve anymore.
Am I
Man
though?
wants
I'm
to be
like 60
General
years old.
Grievous so badly.
All right.
Listen, Barry's 60 years old. I don't think any beetles live for that long generally.
Maybe not normal ones, but humanoid beetles? Who the fuck knows?
And Lord knows Barry is not normal.
All right. Well, about 3 minutes later, the lights dim and the title sequence of the movie begins automatically with no advertisements. Big movie theaters.
Barry has already finished 1 bucket of popcorn.
Wait, what?
He shovels that shit. You know,
Well, yeah, that's what you gotta do. You gotta get 1 bucket to get through all the advertisements, then 1 bucket for the movie.
except there were no advertisements, so you just wolfed it down in 2 seconds.
Yeah, so I had to hurry to keep in schedule.
First is the dramatic music and the title card, The Magic Circle, and it calls itself a live-action documentary of a group of brave heroes digging up and rediscovering the ancient history of Diadem. It also lists itself as severely recreated due to some of the dangerous elements being a bit too lethal to show to everyone on public theaters. And the film was recorded over the span of a year, which all took place about 3 years ago.
Joseph looks at this disclaimer and is like, lethal, they say. This ought to be one of my favorite movies then. Joseph will pull out his flask and mix some of the cola that he got with it.
The next 92 minutes have got to be the most garbage-tier college film you have ever seen. It is so cheesy, you have to laugh at it. The production values are clearly made in the cheapest manner possible, and the camera work is genuinely terrible. But the main characters are a condor man, a short owl man and woman couple, and the cameraman that remains unseen but is heard sporadically voicing his concerns throughout the entire film. All three actors wear some amount of generic adventure clothing, vests, backpacks, hats with long brims, you know. But the owls are both wearing eye-catching pendants, the male's round in purple and the woman's an icicle.
Ignis noticed the pendants and thinks that they might be of
Yeah,
importance.
but say I'm gonna lean over to like Ignis, like, wasn't the owl man up front also fooling with a pendant?
Yeah, I believe so.
I am so glad you noticed that. I was going to make it a roll, but I'm like, fuck it, you're gonna figure it out way before I say anything.
Yeah, the moment you said like a condor man, the gears were already turning.
I had a feeling. The story in a nutshell is, the three main characters, and the cameraman, look through an old book to find the ancient lore of the land, explain gathering 12 magical treasures as keys, and using them to fulfill their wish to free the people. The very task Akarui advised you guys not to get your hopes up for.
Guys, I think I've already guessed the twist. I think the cameraman died.
Other than that, nothing about what you watch makes an ounce of cohesive sense. The movie practically turns into a comedy, and you have to question if they did it this way on purpose. They find a lost child in an indigo hoodie lying face down in a desert, and while the condor calls him a victim of the harsh environment, the kid just stands up, dusts himself off, and walks away mid-shot.
Joseph just looks up and is like, well, this sucks. I can't even get drunk to this.
They climb a mountain together, and the condor performs the most perfectly cut scream you ever saw as he is walloped by a falling boulder.
Ignis takes a small chuckle and then covers his mouth.
They go to what seems like a graveyard, only to come across some kid's gothic-themed birthday party and almost ruin it.
What?
They go to a jungle where they are constantly being pursued by nightmarish, red-eyed wild animals.
I don't think they're on the island anymore. Did they escape?
They end up in the middle of a blizzard and are constantly being bombarded by snowballs from some very upset children. And if you've ever seen the movie Snow Day, think the principal where every time you see him, he is just constantly getting railed by snowballs thrown by children.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but thumbs up.
I'll put a scene of that in the video when I make the After Effects. Now,
Fantastic.
Those are just a few examples, but the movie also has many instances that feel like borderline slapstick, where the Condor Man is injured and delivered to the hospital in so many different ways, but the two owls and the cameraman are always just far enough out of the way to never be truly harmed. But to list a few, the Condor suffered from multiple degrees of burns, sleep-wake cycle dissociation, temporary blindness, high-velocity impact injuries, decompression sickness, which is the bends, a blunt trauma from a horse kick to the head, dependent edema, which is dissociation to gravity, severe frostbite, electrocution burns, sudden onset depression, night terrors, and extreme muscle fatigue, to say nothing of the broken bones, traumatic injuries of unspecified natures, and myriad of other illnesses, many of which were mental.
I'm pretty sure I'd have sudden onset depression if I went through all that too.
Now, by the end of the movie, you see them gather 12 multicolored glass orbs in front of the Diadem City Hall building, and in the most anime Dragon Ball Z fashion, you see the Condor raise his hands, one of which is still in a cast, by the way, to call out to something. But the film suddenly cuts out before the end result occurs. Not by choice, but more so because the film looks damaged and burnt.
Oh, come on!
Is that it?
The only part that remains after is a small transitional scene stating Part 2 coming soon, and a credits scene, and you only see 4 names listed for the entire movie's production. The star, Dolma Pei. The co-star, Awar Solomon. The territory star, Mallory Solomon. And the cameraman, Sunny Side Up.
Wait a minute.
What? Guys, wait. What? So,
You mean to tell me our chicken was part of this movie?
I'm less concerned about the cast and overall what was depicted landscape-wise in the movie.
I mean, didn't we beat 3 out of 4 of the cast members coming in?
We did.
ask them.
It's not a
I mean,
coincidence.
I see. The thing is, like, I don't really want to ask them because, like, I assume. Oh, excuse me. I got popcorn stuck in my throat. That was a real life
And
cough
this
that I
is
had
why-
to cover
and
up
this
and
is-
roleplay.
I know.
And this is why you chew. Now do you understand why I have to babysit the both of you?
I'm alive, ain't I? Anyways, I don't like. On one hand, I really want to go talk to them, because here's the thing: we do want to figure out how to get out of here, even if it's not super likely. So getting some actual information would be nice, because I have a feeling that none of what happened in the movie actually happened, and that's just movie production. You know, I've had wrestling friends that go into acting, and it's usually just a bunch of malarkey. But on the other hand, I really don't want to ask them because it seems very, the events seem very dramatic.
Yeah, but given what has occurred on the island so far, I wouldn't put it past if the locations in this movie were actually other sections of the island we have yet to see. Because before coming into the city, we did stumble across that weird forest, and then there was that weird guy that was literally a shortcut into the city.
I mean,
So maybe
I don't think we put too much faith or stock in the random drunkard as being a part of any of this.
No, I'm not saying he's a part of it, but what if this island isn't just weird because of magic fuckery? What if it's also weird in the fact that, well, there's different biomes spread around that are unpredictable?
Barry strokes his chin, thinking.
My eyes have been diverted towards the pendant and the 12 orbs, apparently.
You want to know another thought that could be worth bringing up? You know how good old King Maya Akarui did want to discourage search for this way out? What if the movie was altered to help by him or some of his government officials to help prevent people from wanting to try and escape the island, as we want to do?
Like he deliberately sabotaged.
I mean, it's a possibility. He seemed like a nice fellow, but I bet political figures, it's they know how to manipulate and get what they want.
Now that I think about it, I just realized I never asked. What did you guys do with your chicken companion? Just leave him at home?
I kind of assumed we left him at home. Like, it'd be kind of weird to walk into the movie theater with a live chicken.
Just making sure.
Although, imagine if we did have him and we're just like, hey, we found a chicken with a name tag that says Sunny Side Up. You 3 know him? It's like, you imagine how much that would, how horrible that would be for those 3.
Alright, well, just wanted to make sure. So, at this point, the movie is over, the end credits were incredibly small, and the lights have come back up. So where do you guys go from here?
I'm not with you guys, but I'm gonna go ask Sunny Side Up some questions.
I don't think he knows how to speak.
I think it was only convenient for one role, and that was just shoddy camera work.
Well, actually, Nanashi, you did say that the cameraman did periodically voice his concerns throughout the movie.
Yes, he
Which
did.
implies he did know how to speak during the movie.
So it would seem.
So we could go interrogate Sunny. But it doesn't seem like he knew how to speak at the time. But at the time now that we have him, I think we bring Sunny over here. I think This is a weird situation.
Well, maybe you guys can think about it on the way.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well,
I still kind of, now the movie's over, we could go to the shopping district, go get some humpier clothes.
Well, on your way out the door, you guys are called out to by the ticket seller, Awar. Hey, so just curious, did you guys like the movie?
Oh, Barry wants to tell him the movie was bad, but Barry also is like southern polite, so he probably couldn't bring himself to. Well, it was certainly an interesting viewing experience.
Well, I wish I could say the book was better, but it was based on an old history book, and I mean falling apart old. And I'm 100% certain the translation was terrible.
A history book, you say?
Mm-hmm. Our cameraman, Sonny, he was the one who brought the book to us.
Did he ever spoke?
Well, I should hope so. He's a college graduate. You can't do that without speaking.
I knew it.
Okay, if I may, forgive me if this is a bit personal.
Hmm?
Was Sonny? I saw the credits. It said Sonny sat up. Did he happen to be a large chicken man?
He was a Rhode Island Red, yeah. Have you seen him recently?
I guess you could say that.
Yeah, Barry's gonna kind of like get down on one knee, so I'm like at eye level with this dude, put a hand on his shoulder. Something like that is a little weird.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Ignis whispers to Barry, "It's a good thing we convinced Chimo not to eat him."
Well, my wife and I, and Dolma too, haven't seen him in a couple of years now. He left to return the book after he borrowed it, and I never heard from him again. Not a day goes by where I don't worry. He was a good friend to a lot of people. But if he's okay, then that's good enough for me. He'll come to us when he's ready, I suppose.
He's okay, but I don't know if he. Okay, listen here. I don't know how to say this politely, so I'm just gonna tell you how it is. As I told you, we are new to the city. We come in exactly yesterday. And let me tell you the story. You know, we come in and we immediately get set upon by what did Dr. we call them, marauders.
Oh yes, marauders. Yes.
They tried to fight us and rob us, and we beat the ever-loving daylights out of them. But their leader dropped a chest, almost like it was a video game. It was kind of weird. And inside the chest was a live chicken, a normal chicken, not a chicken person, but a live chicken with a name tag that said Sunny Side Up. I don't know what to make of it, but we do, unless he has left our house, unless he has somehow gotten out of the house since we've been gone, he should still be at the house.
I see. I might need to come by and see for myself, but I still have several hours of my shift, so I don't think I can worry about that right now.
I mean, want us to bring him here?
Bringing a chicken to a movie theater is screaming health code violations. Probably for the best you don't.
Understandable.
But I'll arrange that with you another time. I also need to break this to my wife, which is going to be even more concerning of a problem. But to be honest,
so you three was the ones in the movie?
Well, yes. It was actually.
Well, I didn't know if,
it was actually Sonny's.
I just didn't know
project.
if it was like a coincidental. You know, Barry doesn't have the heart to tell him that it was like we were theorizing how to have this conversation, so he's trying to play it off. But we didn't know if it was just like a weird coincidence or what the deal was.
Sonny brought this idea to us by bringing us this book and saying that he could translate enough of this old text inside of it to where we could make something feasible out of it, because the legend of getting off this island is as old as the island itself, supposedly, and it seemed like a fun project for him to do for college, so we went along with it.
With how many location transitions there were in the film, did the old book in question mention anything about alternating biomes on the island? Because before we came in here, we did go through a dense forest filled with all sorts of animals and ripe fruit.
Oh,
but in the
right.
movie, it seems like we're expecting a whole lot more.
Biome's not the right word, but there are some special places on this island that I'm sure you'll find. As far as the forest that you came in through, that's just the welcome area. Those trees were planted by local farmers who wanted to make sure that anybody who came in on an empty stomach had something to put on their belly immediately, or at the very least, if somebody was having a rough day or just couldn't make it home, wouldn't starve in the middle of the night.
Well, that explains all the fruits that were on the trees.
Mm-hmm. All donated by the local farmhands.
If that was the welcome area, then what about everywhere else?
But, as far as the book's concerned, if you were planning on trying to use that for anything, I don't know how much success you'd have. I don't actually know where he got it from. I want to say he got it from the college or possibly the library, but given how old it is, if you're planning on trying to get anything out of that book, you might be better off going to the bookstore and seeing if they have a newer copy.
Might just do that.
Well, I guess in the meantime, we could also try to look for the other two members the other two cast members that we've seen.
Well, Mallory was just cleaning out the movie theater, and Dolma's running the snack stand.
He whispers, he whispers to Barry and Joseph.
So, listen, Ignis, I think we just let our man here do the communicating to them, just because he said is, he gonna have to talk to his wife, which is complicated. I think we let him handle that, because that's their friend group. I think us just telling him about all this was probably good enough. You know what I mean? When you have friend groups, there's just some particular things you don't interfere with. I don't think it's our place to go question all three of them. Seems like it'd be kind of impolite.
At least not right now, I guess. Yeah, what you're saying actually makes sense. Alright, so where do you plan to go now?
If no one else has any objections, I think we head to the shopping. We're gonna come out styling.
Wait, hold on. Is the library in the same district as the
It's actually not written on the map.
I have it written down right here, except it's not written down. I'm just giving you shit for the funny on the Nashi.
No, actually, I'm pointing out that it's not written on the map for a reason.
Oh, you mean it's not written on our physical in-character map?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean...
Yeah, I'm gonna look over back at Mr. Fellow here. It's like, hey, our map doesn't show a library on it. Could you point us in the right direction?
Oh, absolutely. Please hand me your map.
I give him the map.
He pulls out a quill and marks out a spot against the northwestern wall of Diadem itself. Just go up there, and it'll all make sense.
You know what? You've been here for a long time. I believe you, even though it does seem like an odd spot to have a library.
Wait, northwest you said?
Yep.
In the trash zone.
Yeah.
Actually, based on where he marked it on the map, it's behind the trash zone.
Behind?
Yes, up against the rock wall itself.
So what we could do is I could drag these two, up to the north, and we go clothes shopping, and then we could just skirt around along the wall's edge.
Wait, well, I don't know about you, but I'm perfectly fine with how I'm looking. So if you two want to go shopping and I go to the charge zone, then we could do that.
Well, we've already lost Chimo. I'd like to not split up too awful much, but I won't force you to get no new clothes if you don't want them. I'm just saying, it's always nice to have some different clothes for some different occasions.
Well,
like that outfit of yours is all well and good for a good several situation, but what if you got to go somewhere where it's not appropriate wear?
If that's the case, how about you guys go to the library first, since that's the farther of the two, and then hit the mall on the way back?
You know what? Yeah, that makes sense. We're going walking.
Alright, well, it takes you about 20 minutes to go behind the trash zone, which there's a gigantic concrete wall separating it from the little bit of grass behind it. And at the spot where it is marked on the map, you see what looks like a 30-foot tall and wide golden gate circle with an orange magic wall inside of it, looking like a slowly filling hourglass of sand.
What the hell?
Hey, so there's a wall right in front of us?
Yes, it looks like it's right up against the rock wall itself.
He then, Ignis proceeds to knock on the wall.
Your fist goes
to test
right
how
through
sturdy
it.
it is. Huh?
It's not how walls work, unless Ignis was a lot stronger than I thought.
Joseph, seeing that Ignister's hand is literally phasing through the wall, will just attempt to walk through the wall because it's clear that this is some sort of illusion some sort of optic illusion or something, more magic fuckery.
As you go through the orange magic wall, you stumble on your way through and land on all fours in a pile of sand. And there's a distinct dryness in the air, like it is devoid of all moisture.
Can we see or hear Joseph now that he's passed through the wall?
No, once he has gone through the wall, you can no longer see or hear him.
I reckon we ought to go in after him.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna begin walking and put an arm out to make sure Ignister can't back up. Or Ignis is his name. Ignis can't back up on us.
And as you two also go through the gate, you fall on your hands and knees in a pile of sand as well, and you immediately feel that distinct dryness.
I don't like this.
Now,
I got sand in my mouth. Oh no.
Sand in your mouth.
Ooh.
Before you, there are two triangular stone structures easily hundreds of feet tall, each one with a stone staircase leading up to an opening in the front. But beyond that, all you see between them and on the left and right is endless miles of sand.
Yeah, I think we
It has
found
to
one of
be.
those strange biomes, Joseph.
But those structures, that's what I'm most curious about.
It's not a very high bar to get over with. But there's nothing but sand to see for miles around.
Now, behind you, the quote-unquote
Back.
gate itself is actually angled backwards at about 45 degrees, as it is physically built into the angled wall of a third triangular stone structure. And there's a pair of staircases going right around that particular gate and up the stone incline to an opening about 6 feet high and 6 feet wide.
You all want to take the stairs? Doesn't look like there's an elevator in this place.
I'm always ready to get some cardio in. Gotta stay in shape in the old age. And Barry's just gonna start walking up the stairs without a second thought.
The one right behind you, I guess?
Yes.
Making sure. All right, well, once you get up the stairs and go into the pathway, it's about 50 feet deep and slowly expands out wider and taller as you go deeper. And it ends at a pair of 10-foot-tall iron doors, both of which have iron handles covered in hieroglyphics. And one of them has a sign above the handle with raised letters stating Pull, P-U-L-L.
Open sesame. Pulls doors open.
When you open the door, you feel an immediate wave of cool, refreshing air as you peer into what might be the largest library you have ever seen. The floors are sandstone in hue with orange carpets trimmed in black, and you see decorative hieroglyphics all along the higher parts of the walls, casting a glowing light that illuminates the whole building, all supported by a pair of stone columns in the immediate corners.
I've seen some weird shit, but this is probably partially taking the cake.
I'm pretty sure this whole island takes the cake.
Now, to your immediate left, there's a check-in, check-out station and a sign on the counter stating back shortly. In front of you, there are rows of bookshelves reaching heights well exceeding a second-story buildings, the columns easily double-digit, and the depth too far to immediately spot with the naked eye. And to the right, there's a series of wood tables and chairs and brown leather couches and ottomans, sparsely occupied by people reading, barring one person who's just lying there with a book over his face, clearly taking a nap. And there's also a single card catalog drawer off in the corner with a sign saying, use at your own risk.
Suddenly, I don't feel mighty safe here.
Gee, what tips you off about this place? The eerie hieroglyphics, the 10-foot door, the literal desert outside?
Most of the fact that that sign says use at your own risk, which implies there is now a risk.
As if there wasn't already. Joseph
Well,
will move up
you
to
make a
the
fair
napping.
point. There was no immediate risk, immediate or apparent risk. If we, you use your brains, I mean, we're not gonna wander off into the desert willy-nilly with no thought. We're too smart for that.
Joseph walks up to the napping man. Alright, nap time is over. Joseph will shake him awake.
I was in the middle of reading. You've woken up a larder beetle man with short brown hair and black and gold sports jersey. Is there a reason you're shaking me to death?
Well, I mean, you're in the middle of a desert.
Well, the desert domain, sure, but this is just the library. Like, wait, you guys are new here, aren't you?
Yes.
And also, you looked really sucked into your literature. So sucked in, your eyes were closed and you were snoring loud.
Oh.
Pretty sure this ain't even the librarian. This is just a dude that we found.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Listen, sorry about the rough wake-up, but given that we are new here and we don't have sight of the librarian, we do have one question.
Pretty sure we have a lot more than that, but I'm gonna let you do the questioning.
What do you know about the history book that the film The Magic Circle is based off of?
You see his face distort into disgust. That piece of garbage?
Listen, I'm just gonna be real with you. I've seen worse, but at the same time, somehow they don't even compare to that. A weird paradox, but there's apparently some historical significance to it. as much as I hate to see it. As much as I hate to say it.
I'll be honest, I don't know much about the book it was based on. If you want to find out that, you can either try your chance with the card catalog or just go up and ask the librarian. And he points back at the desk.
You know what? You make a fair point. You can go back to your napping now. Yeah,
when you approach there, the sign has actually changed to ring bell for service.
Okay,
Sign is
spooky.
different.
Lovely. Ding, 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 ding.
A tiger man suddenly stands up from behind the library counter with a stretch and a yawn, flipping his ponytail behind his shoulder. He straightens his small rounded glasses, adjusts his white long coat trimmed in black over his black t-shirt, and pulls out an orange name tag, reading Conroy from his pocket, pinning it to his coat. Hello, how can I help you?
Well, you see, we're relatively new in town. This is our first time coming to this library. How is it? Can you explain this library to me? It is absolutely massive.
Oh, yes. The library here is a contribution effort from everyone that's ever visited the island. Everyone who's ever had the ability to contribute to it donates something special to them from themselves to it. Usually it's all conglomeration efforts, as well as individual contributions. So, we naturally have a very vast variety of books, as well as other media. But what does that smell?
I don't know. What is it?
It smells familiar. And he immediately locks eyes with Joseph. Oh God. Are you ageless?
That obvious?
I can smell that nasty chronomancy all over you. How old are you?
Lost track. 80, 90. What year is it?
2015.
Right, and then and I was 20 when I rolled into World War II.
Well, I believe it. You reek of the elements. I'd recognize that scent anywhere. I am curious as to what caused it, though.
Let's just say it was this artifact of unknown origin that really was on the top of Hitler's wish list. We're tasked with retrieving it, and magic bullshit.
That Austrian twink.
Listen, I've heard him referred by many things, but not that. And I'm the guy who punched him, too.
Well, good on you. It has definitely deserved it and a lot worse.
What can you tell us about the history book that a film called The Magic Circle was based on?
He actually does a double take. The book you're referring to isn't so much a history book, but a chronology tome. I haven't had anyone ask for that in a year or two. I believe I still have it. Just a tick. He jumps down behind the counter, then reappears moments later with a hundreds-year-old golden tome with bent corners, burn marks, and a badly mangled spine, placing it very carefully on the counter in front of you.
A chronology?
Yeah, a chronology is a book about a specific
No,
timeline.
I was asking about that in question.
No, Joseph, let him continue. Barry was going to ask the definition of a chronology.
That's fine.
No, legit, I was getting ready to say this. What is it? What's a chronology? I dropped out of college.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, he slips on a pair of tight orange vinyl gloves and very carefully opens the book, showing the pages are very old paper and most of them are illegible due to obvious cuts and burns and water damage, and some points even look like they were eaten by bugs.
I didn't do it.
Bad news, lads. This book is definitely past its prime, but I can try to glean something from its remains if you have anything specific.
Primarily in regards to a certain legend.
The legend of how to get off the island.
I'm guessing you get asked that a lot?
More than you will ever know. Alright, let's see here. The stench of burnt paper and rot fills the air as he carefully flips through the pages. There must still be something in here. Ah, here we are. By the spring of 1472, not only had everyone survived, the population had grown to 43. In that same season, a new group of settlers had arrived from the same land, curious to why no one had returned. Caught the attention of the 12 natives, whom admitted there's a way to something, treasures. Can't quite make that part out, but it sounds like what you're looking for.
Last 12 natives to the island, or people started showing up.
Here we are. The second generation challenged the natives with all their might in a myriad of manners, but could not defeat a single one. Dubbed the champions of the treasures, these natives offered the bravest and noblest among them the chance to challenge them again, and hard to make out. Each new generation essentially had members that did the same. History repeats itself on a short loop, I suppose. He flips through the rest of the pages looking for anything else that you guys might find useful, but one of the pages partly dissolves against his fingertips, and he whimpers a little. Well, that's upsetting. I'll need to see about restoring this book somehow, but that's for another day. I'm afraid that's really all I can find that might be aligned with what you're looking for specifically.
Well, so long as we got some pieces to fill out info-wise, the state of the book doesn't really concern me, though it's looking deader than the zombies I had to face several years ago.
Yeah, Barry's gonna double take a Joseph. Brother, I know you just said don't ask, but you can't drop zombies in a conversation and then say don't ask.
Barry, how old do you think I am?
I mean, one of the first things I ever heard you say was you punched Hitler. So, at least that old, if that's to be believed. Which you don't strike me as the lying type.
Well, I am pushing at least 90 this year.
Wait, what do you mean at least 90? Do you not keep track of it?
You live as long as I am, you don't even keep track of your own birthdays. I'm honestly giving estimates at this point, but I'll tell you that old war story some other time.
Wait a minute. I just had a real life realization. Are you the guy from Wolfenstein?
No. If
No.
only.
Okay. You are not the guy from Wolfenstein.
No,
Damn.
Joseph is a different breed than Blazkowicz. I'm sorry.
I've never played Wolfenstein, so I didn't even know the dude's name. So I'm like, wait a minute.
Alright,
Hold
so,
up. Wait a minute. Somebody right.
You know, if we end up not escaping, we live here long enough, you could probably contribute a lot to this here library. With that many years of experience.
Speaking of contribution, I do have a small favor I'd like to ask all of you. When a new person comes here, we ask them to contribute to the library as well, to help further our understanding and contributions that we can offer to the entire island. Would you be interested in doing that? We'd only need a moment.
You know what? I'd be down.
Yeah, I'd like to leave behind my knowledge to the coming generations, assuming that no one leaves this island in the next several hundred years.
Wonderful.
Joseph does hesitate for a second, but then just says, maybe there's some old war stories I can share with the class, or the residents of the island. The less painful ones.
Wonderful. Follow me, please. He actually hops out from behind the counter and goes right back out the door you guys came in through first, and out into the desert. But instead of going through...
follow him.
But instead of going through the gate, he actually goes into one of the other two structures, the one specifically on the right. Inside of this new building, you see a massive laboratory filled with a few sectioned off areas, each one full of beakers and test tubes, burners and freezers, microscopes and petri dishes, and all manners of bright lights and very old machinery anyone would recognize from any horror movie.
Oh, dear God.
Well,
Joseph,
this isn't creepy at all.
Joseph, your experience with zombies may or may not become immediately relevant.
He guides you to the back right corner of the room to a strange circular metal chamber with an orange symbol drawn on the ground and a panel containing an orange slab of rounded triangular stone with some odd writing on it. The chamber itself is about 20 feet wide and about 10 feet tall, so it's easily big enough to accommodate all of you and still have room. The process is quite simple. This magic chamber is comprised of chronomancy magic that reads your mind and body for anything knowledge-based, checks it against any of our pre-existing books, and either fills in the blanks or writes whole new ones. Now, if you'd be so kind as to simply step in, this will only take a minute.
I assume not all three of us at once. It just seems like it would bump fuzzle the magic.
Oh no, this magic's worked on parties of 20 before.
Oh, sounds good to me. Barry just walks in. Barry is very immediately trusting of people, even if there are some alarm bells going off.
But Ignis just shrugs and then follows.
Well, I guess democracy has already voted.
Alright, now just stand right there, keep your eyes closed, and he slams his hand onto the orange stone tablet and causes it to jump to life, summoning a small swirling sandstorm to surround all of you. Each pellet, although you don't see this, each pellet glows with a soft orange light for a few moments, then takes off toward the entryway of where you guys came in through. And that'll do it. Let's see what we have. Conroy giggles with glee as he stares at the orange stone panel. Fantastic! 43 new books added, including 9 sequels, 27 new books started, 16 incomplete books finished, 83 furthered along, and 3 all new ones all about you.
That many?
Anything
books.
knowledge-based goes into the contribution. It does not matter how small. It could be a single letter and it would still be furthered along. That is how valuable this information is to the library.
Who devised this whole system? This is a very in-depth catalog you got here.
Right before he answers your question, an explosion occurs near the doorway to the lab, and you see a small body careening across the room in a high overhead arc, heading straight for the nearby wall.
Can I roll to like catch him?
What role do you think you can do that will work?
I mean, the obvious go-to one is athletics, but however, I would kind of like to go back and read more in-depth details on the skills. My +3 is in physique, and it says raw power and durability physique stunts. They perform superhuman feats of strength, throw your weight around, and shrug off it. So yeah, maybe just instead. Could I argue rolling physique to just leap and catch him?
You could do that, or you could use your physique to, say, throw another teammate.
Oh.
I feel like that's gonna hurt 2 people.
It might, but if you're willing to take the risk, and if he's willing to try and risk the damage, I'm willing to allow that.
No, I'm just gonna try and jump and catch the dude myself.
No. Hold on. No. Have Barry
Ignis,
throw
I
it.
will throw you anytime you want, except for right now. I will throw you at any point in time you like, except for right now. Just, if one of the 3 of us is going to take damage from my failed roll, it's going to be me right now.
Alright, well,
Probably.
it's Barry's decision. He jumped in first. I'm going to let him make the final say on this. So you want to try and use your incredibly physique-driven legs to yeet yourself in front of whoever's flying by.
I'm just going to try and just raw strength, jump up, catch him, and just, you know
what?
At bare minimum, cushion the landing.
You know what? Go right
Wait.
ahead. Give me a physique roll and see what happens.
Alrighty, my man.
Wait,
I'm
hold on.
excited.
Before he does the roll, I thought of something funnier.
Which is?
in Street Fighter where Zangief just took a blade right to the chest and then just deflected it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if Barry's able to do that.
Alright, I'm just gonna try and catch him. Just
Yeah. So, alright, go ahead and use
+3 total.
Alright, +3 on that roll.
That was just my physique modifier. My dice meant nothing.
It's fine, man. Sometimes that happens. That's why the base stats always matter. So, you jump your way out of the pod and make a quick dive for the small body, catching it right before it hits the wall. But the inertia does cause you to hit the wall with him in your arms, making you take a single point of damage.
That was the goal. That was the goal. If anyone's taking damage, it's me.
And when you
But
land, you actually land behind the metal pod, but thankfully nothing else appears to be damaged.
Joseph hops out of the pod and comes somewhat close. What the hell was that about?
Conroy also dashes over to the body and picks it up out of Barry's arms, dusting it off, and reveals a young teenage boy, body obscured by a singed indigo-colored hoodie, his orange name tag reading Calum.
Wait
a minute.
a minute.
You think what I'm thinking?
I think I'm thinking what you're thinking.
No, okay, what I as a player am thinking, all Barry can think about right now is, oh, I didn't stretch first.
You two okay?
Yep, totally fine.
Conroy puts Calum down on his own 2 feet and says, Calum, What have I told you about doing your dangerous experiments? You do that out in the desert or in the arena so the property damage is minimized.
Wait, Caleb?
The boy responds by coughing up a bit of soot. Sorry, I just had this idea for that gold potion and I had to work on it. He slowly turns to your group, eyes wide, just now realizing that you were there after the unfortunate side effect of the explosion. Hello?
You alright there, little buddy? Barry's just still laying on the floor at this point.
And the boy takes a step back slowly. I'm fine. And Conroy just sighs and hangs his head. Remember your manners, Caleb. Conroy stands up and helps Barry get back up on his own 2 feet.
Honestly, Barry would probably politely refuse, like, listen here, I appreciate the thought, brother, but honestly, I would probably just pull you down to the floor. I got it.
He willingly grabs your hand anyways and yanks you back up onto your own 2 feet.
Oh, okay. Whoa, right. Okay, then. All right. But maybe I underestimated you. Good for you.
He also walks over and guides Caleb towards your group, who is very nervous. Everyone, this is Caleb, my protege. He runs the pet shop in Diadem, but spends his free time here doing experiments. He fancies himself an alchemist, mostly potions, but he dabbles in humanimal transmutation.
Humanimal what?
I'm gonna pretend I know what that means.
I have to guess. I'm assuming it's turning humans to animals. Well, humanoid animals, but details.
Caleb gets a little bit huffy and extends his hand to your group, speaking with a bit of an embarrassed irritation. It's nice to meet you all. If you need anything animal-related, or maybe want to experiment with my alchemical concoctions, you know where to find me.
Well, good to meet you. You know, typical Barry handshake.
Now, here's the interesting part. You give him your typical handshake, but he doesn't seem to flinch. And the second your hand makes contact, I'm going to tell you right now, you have been given something very special. If at any time during this campaign you decide that you want to reset your stats back to basic level 1 and reallocate your points into new or different skills, he is the person you will talk to do that.
That's fascinating.
See, I know for a fact that sometimes players make decisions that don't end up working out by like level 3 or level 4, and I didn't want you guys to be deadlocked into that. So his humanimal transmutation thing is partly what will allow you to reset your points back to base and then reallocate them into your future levels.
Interesting.
Kind of like what the Dragonborn DLC did in Skyrim. And Conroy smiles, seeing him genuinely try. There's a lad, your mother would be so proud. Anywho, I should be returning to work. Plenty of people here need a good book. But if you need help with any information, feel free to stop by anytime you'd like.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, given that those books were made from scanning our minds, the last couple of chapters should go in the horror section, if you have it.
Believe it or not, the book's usually self-categorized, but I will keep a special eye on yours. What was your name again?
Joseph Gallows.
Joseph Gallows the Soldier Boy. I will keep a close eye on that one. Now,
Awesome. Well, just head back to the library, see if we got any other books on the history of this here island.
Conroy and Caleb both head out in front of you, and you can very clearly hear Conroy talking Caleb up for actually trying to be social with someone. But Caleb stops at the doorway while Conroy just keeps on walking, talking to nobody. And he turns back to your group and just looks at you for a second in thought. I'm trying to think. Have we met before?
Have we?
Yes. I can't say for sure,
Well,
but now that I think about it, your name does sound familiar.
well, this is gonna bug me all day. Sorry about that. He walks away deep in thought, chasing down Conroy, who you can still hear talking all the way.
That fella's very long-winded.
I think we might have found our fourth guy.
I mean, wasn't he the one in that scene in the desert that was just laying on the ground, and then he just kind of got up and walked away?
This must
Yes,
be the
indeed.
desert they were referencing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that definitely tracks.
But now I have to question if the blizzard scenes and everything else is actually, well, accurate.
Nanashi, was Caleb's name in the credits? Because I don't believe you said if it was.
It is.
His names were not in the credits, but I will tell you now, that does look like the same person as in the movie.
Yeah, because you said there's only
Ah.
4 people in the credits, which is the 2 sheep people,
Owls.
the sheep owls. Why did I say sheep? I'm
Fluffy white.
very tired.
It's
The 2
fine.
owl people, the other bird fella, and then Sunny.
Mm-hmm.
But Caleb definitely seems like the kid in the purple hoodie that was in the desert scene, who just kind of stood up and walked out of frame. Interesting.
All right, so now that you've gotten that out of the way, where do you guys want to go next? I believe
gentlemen, what's-
Barry
what's
was
next
interested
on
in
the
getting
itinerary?
some clothes.
Yeah.
This is true. That was something I wanted to do. I also, even though these 2 are probably gonna fight me tooth and nail, I want to try and get these 2 something a bit more casual, something a little more stylish, a little bit go out on the town, have some, and just be able to go about your errands, but look kind of nice. You know what I mean?
Understandable.
In all honesty, Joseph isn't even opposed to the mall visit. He's just thinking, well, if we don't find any clothing for us, there's definitely some other eye catchers, no doubt, that's there.
Yeah, Ignis is probably gonna argue with Joseph that he doesn't.
Well, I feel like Barry's not going to give you much of an option, so
Listen,
It's gonna be entertaining anyway.
yeah. It's like I'm probably gonna be trying to like really hard to talk him into this the whole walk there. It's like, listen, I'm not gonna make you buy no clothes. If you don't want them, you don't want them. But I mean, you don't know if you want them unless you try them, right?
I'm fine.
I mean, his logic is sound, and you got nothing to lose by just walking around. You might get more information out of it at that point.
Well, he is gonna join them. It's just he's not gonna buy any clothes.
Okay.
Okay. What if I buy you clothes?
You know,
This is while we're walking.
as it happens, I should bring up you guys did end up in a desert, which is an excessively hot place, meaning the 2 of you are probably fucking dying of heat stroke by this point. Well, actually, no, I have to correct myself. Ignis wouldn't be. He's got the whole heat resistance thing because of his partial dragon blood. But Joseph, he's
Yeah.
got to be sweltering. It might not be a bad idea to at least take a look for something a little cooler.
Yeah, it's like Joseph's in a plague doctor outfit, and Barry is a beetle. They don't necessarily fare well in deserts anyway. Okay, some of them do, but Barry is not that kind of beetle.
I mean,
Barry's a
I
stag
mean,
beetle.
Joseph feels it, but he's definitely been hardened by even worse conditions.
You know what? Fair. I didn't even think of that. All right, so
No,
let's
honestly,
say...
Barry was probably getting ready to die out in that desert.
Yeah, probably. 5 minutes, you would not have survived much longer. At least, well, did you happen to bring your bottles of water?
Oh, I brought my whole backpack, so I got everything that was in the backpack.
So that means that you could have persisted a little bit longer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's...
Yeah, because we got the hydration bladder and then the 3 unopened bottles of water that I picked up from the welcome center.
How convenient.
If like I do remember correctly, I think scarab beetles can like survive in desert.
Yeah.
Which
Barry's not
Barry-
a scarab, though, is the problem.
yeah, I was about to say Barry is not a scarab beetle.
Barry is a stag beetle, canonically. I know I've never really
Yeah.
talked about it much in session, but Barry is canonically a stag beetle.
Which is
Yeah.
perfect, actually.
Which didn't the guy we wake up is a scarab beetle?
A larder beetle.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a type of beetle that's black and yellow, very similar to scarab beetles, but more smooth lines. It's like an in-between of... what's it called? It's like an in-between of a scarab beetle and a lightning bug, I guess you could say.
Okay. I actually did thought he was a scarab beetle.
They're actually mistaken for each other more than once. But let's go
Okay.
let's go ahead and keep the story rolling. So Barry, quote unquote, coerces and convinces you guys to follow him to the mall so he can get out of these itchy clothing. Would that be where we're going next?
Yeah, let me just roll my rapport real quick.
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead, I guess, if you want to.
I mean, I was joking, but
Okay,
shit,
yeah.
I'll roll it.
Why not?
I'm very convincing. Watch this be like all minuses.
Again. Oh,
Damn it!
you didn't do a very good job. You know what?
Fate point. That is a joke. I'm not spending a fate point.
I mean, I don't have an issue with that.
Oh, bro is actively trying to convince Joseph and Ignis to buy clothes.
You know what? Hell with it. Give me. What else am I gonna use this reroll on today?
All right.
We
so
need y'all. We need to get y'all some style. Y'all, you
Watch it be
guys,
worse.
you guys are like. I'm not gonna say you're eyesores right now. You points at Ignis. You got some style going on. You just look medieval. Points at Joseph. Better.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good roll. Switching from a -1 to a +3. That's a damn good roll. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys, but he is compelling you guys to go with him.
I mean, Joseph had no. Joseph didn't freaking.
No.
He didn't
I
object- he
no.
didn't-
This was to convince them to actually get some new clothes. I knew they were gonna come with me. I'm not gonna try and convince them of that. This is just we're gonna get you guys some new style.
All right, so at this point, I think it's all agreed. You guys are going to the mall, and in some way, shape, or form, he's going to convince you to buy something. So
Let's go.
I mean, can we counter that rule?
you know what? If you want to do that, you can. But I'll say this: if you guys actually go with him because he is compelling you to come with him, I'm willing to give you guys an extra fate point for the inconvenience.
I mean, Ignis is gonna go with him anyways. It's just he's gonna try to counter argument like that. He doesn't need new clothes.
All right then. So let's just keep the story rolling then, and say that that's where you guys are heading next, is the mall.
Yeah.
All right, so the outside looks fairly standard. Large concrete building, sun-bleached into a bland pale gray. But the building looks well-maintained. The doors are 10-foot tall glass with brass square handles, and the streets are clean, aside from some scorch marks.
Ignis, have you been here already?
Ignis just slowly turns to Barry.
I'm just saying,
Really?
you're the only person I know that could do scorch marks like that.
Well, the scorch marks are
Oh.
straight lines.
Oh, I understand.
Not
now.
unless the Thunder Force made another arrest.
I mean, the last place you guys went to had a bullet hole in its sign. This one has scorch marks. It's pretty obvious battles are kind of common here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ignis, I want
But
to
at-
apologize. I forgot the Thunder Force did that.
Or forgive him.
All right,
But at
so
the same time, I'm not surprised. They've seemed to be really active lately. And the bullet hole in the sign at the theater, well, why wouldn't they be active?
now, inside the two-story building is a different matter. The walls are all painted a startling white. The staircases are immaculate. Every storefront looks trendy and clean, and there are old-fashioned elevators with liftmen.
Liftmen?
And there is, yeah, the kind of people who actually operate the elevators for you.
That's wild.
There's also a food court.
Well,
See,
yeah.
we can even get us some lunch while we're here. This was the perfect place to go.
Actually, since we're on
Yeah, I
that
feel like-
subject of lunch, why don't we go ahead and say that we've moved to the next phase of the day and say this is the afternoon phase?
Yeah, that's fair.
Seems reasonable.
I mean,
That's an appropriate.
Yeah, we have been. Doing like a bunch of things for a while. It would feel weird if it was still the morning.
All right, so you can go to pretty much
Go
any store
shopping.
you want to, or the food court. Name your choice.
Right. I mean, I'm just trying to find. I'm just trying to find the what's the word I'm looking for? A nice clothes shop. You know what I mean? A nice casual wear shop.
Well, every store is a specialty store selling all manner of fashionable and functional clothes. There are stores for sportswear, swimwear, shoes, accessories, heavy-duty workout wear, even winter wear. And any store you go to, you're going to see a solid array of color and style options and sizes ranging from toddler to giant.
See, look at that. They do have my size.
So it would appear.
Let's go.
Hey Barry. Hey Barry.
Hey.
Could I have my portion of the money? I'm gonna go to the food court.
I kind of assumed we just all had our own portion and just Barry covered everything at the theater.
That's fair.
In that case,
Chimo
never
already
mind.
took her portion. So I just
Okay, in that
assumed,
case,
because I asked, okay, in my mind, what I thought had happened, we're at the house. It's like, okay, let's make sure we pack the money. And then we see, oh, Chimo's already taken her share. Let's just go ahead and divvy all the rest of it up while we're at it.
Which means that you each had 150 at the start of the day, so
And then I spent however much on movie theater.
total of 29.
Okay.
29.
Yeah, 15 for
We
the
bought a
tickets
lot
and
of
14 for the
snacks.
snacks.
Oh, it's 15.
Yeah, 5 each.
Oh yeah, true.
Okay, actually, let me write this down on my personal inventory sheet. That way I know this is how much money I still have. So you started with 150. I spent 29. That means I still have 131.
Mm-hmm. Well, 121.
What's
You're right.
and what's the currency called? Zenny?
Z.
It's just Z.
Ignis tells the other dude that he's gonna go to the food court and that he's both gonna catch up.
All right. I guess since Ignis is gonna, it's like but I guess we'll head over to that plus size store so I can get myself something nice and comfortable.
Alrighty. So you can basically find any clothing that you want here that's not like super specialty. So just give me a couple items that you want, and we'll work out a price.
Yeah. What Barry wants to get right is he wants to get a casual wear outfit, which for him would probably be something along the lines of like cargo shorts, like a Hawaiian shirt, like some almost looking like something Guy Fieri would wear,
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
and some sunglasses.
All right. So I've actually dropped the price range for all that stuff in the Fate chat. So if you want to look at that and give me a quick inventory of what you're looking for.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. So, would you categorize sunglasses under a small accessory or a larger accessory? I guess small.
Sunglasses would be a small accessory, yeah. Larger accessories would be things like handbags.
Okay. Let me. I'm gonna pull up a calculator and then some math.
I'll tell you what, why don't you do that? Real quick, Raven, what are you doing?
Joseph was just waiting outside the shop for Barry, but he is gonna look across the aisles at the other shops and see a shop that really catches his eye fashion-wise.
Okay.
The shop in question, I don't know if this mall would have it, but does this mall have something that would be the equivalent of a Hot Topic?
Give me an investigate roll just to see what exactly it is that you can find that you even care about. Since you're actively looking for it, I feel like that's a fair ask.
Alright, investigation roll.
If I recall correctly, you have a base of a +2 on that.
Let me pull them up.
I can just imagine like what kind of theme
it's close
the
now.
mall would have.
Well, just remember, like I said, everything's a specialty shop, so theoretically you can find anything you want. You just kind of got to look for it, which is the only reason I'm asking for the investigate roll. Okay, +1. That's not bad. You definitely find the store you're looking for. It's the equivalence of a Hot Topic. It looks like it's mostly like blacks, grays, deep reds, a couple of whites intermingled in, but mostly dark and dreary stuff. Essentially what Joseph here would be absolutely fantastically fawning over.
Joseph will walk over to that shop.
Ignis, who went down to the food court, I'll go ahead and cover that first. The food court itself is fairly basic, dark green square metal tables with matching chairs, 4 seats each, but there are several food vendors to pick from, and while most of them are more fast food related, there are also options for more specific tastes. So, what are you looking for?
I don't really think Ignis has like a preference, so I guess he's just gonna go to like one of the fast food ones.
Alright, so what are you looking for? Burger, slice of pizza, fries?
Let's do burgers.
Alright. Well, you get to watch them as they cook you up a freshly cooked, let's say, medium rare?
Yeah.
A good old-fashioned medium rare cheeseburger with all the ingredients on top of it on a freshly baked seeded bun. And they'll also throw in a side of fries and a small drink for, let's say, 3Z.
Just 3? Wow.
Well, it's only because there were three food items, so.
Yeah, but still, that's cheap. Okay, so down to 147.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you go and sit down, you hear the good old-fashioned metal scrape as you pull the chair out. But when you actually bite into it, everything on the table is rich in the purest and most savory flavors you could have asked for. The ingredients are top-notch, the beverages are fresh, and even the salt and pepper are more flavorful than you expected.
What kind of sorcery is this? and then Ignis proceeds to take a bite of fry.
Same thing.
But just take.
The potatoes taste like they were still picked freshly and grilled in pure oil.
And now Ignis is still in disbelief. And then just continues to eat.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I got something written down here. You're actually approached by 2 guys, a meerkat and a pig, both wearing
Wait a fucking minute.
fast food outfits of red and yellow. The pig is wearing a name tag that says Parker, and the meerkat's wearing a name tag that says Josh.
Nashi, these people can't fool me. That's Timon and Pumbaa.
That might have been their basis, but they're actually a double reference. I was hoping to see if you guys would pick up the other one.
Yeah, I didn't even pick up Timon and Pumbaa. I damn sure don't know what the other one is.
So you don't know who Josh and Parker are?
Doesn't ring an immediate bell.
I've heard of them, but I can't remember what they're from.
We'll talk about that later. So
Alright.
the two of them approach and it's just like, hey, so you like the food, dude? We just made that this morning.
Well, that explains it. It's fantastic.
Nice. And they suddenly start prattling and talking surferisms to each other, and you see them exchange a 5Z coin like someone just won a bet. All right, so we've taken care of that. Barry, did you come up with a roster?
I did. I've deducted the Z and I have put all the new clothes in my inventory. What I come out with is we got 5 different short sleeve shirts of various styles and whatnot, right? Different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff for every time of the day. We got 1 jacket for whenever we hit up somewhere cold weather because we saw some type of blizzard. So yeah, like a nice cold weather jacket.
All right.
We got 2 pairs of long pants, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 different pairs of shorts, all of which are cargo shorts of different colors. That's for my style. That's all I wear.
Nothing wrong with
cargo
that.
shorts and cargo pants. 2 new pairs of shoes, one of which are tennis shoes and sandals, specifically, and then a pair of sunglasses.
Perfectly fine. So what does that make your total?
Damn it, I closed my calculator. Okay, I had 121 Z before, and I'm down to 79, I guess was pulled back.
Okay, so you spent about 38.
Wait, so 121, you're down to like, what, 78 you said?
79.
79, yeah.
79. So 43, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
All right, so 42Z for a whole new wardrobe is actually not that bad.
Yeah, that's very nice.
All right, so you take the clothing up to the front counter, which is currently run by a curvy peafowl woman with long multicolored hair and a tight-fitting red uniform polo shirt and a gold name tag stating Andrea.
I don't know what a peafowl is.
It's a peacock.
Okay.
Yeah, peafowl, peahen,
Hello.
peacock, it's basically the same thing.
Gotcha. Hello there. I'd like to purchase all this clothing.
She takes the clothes, counts them all out. She asks you for the coin.
I hand over the appropriate amount.
She pulls out a brown paper bag and sticks all the clothing in there, as well as a bright pink piece of paper into the bag before handing it to you.
This is just, I'm going to say this out of character. Dear Lord, did this woman just hand me her number?
It's a full
Good Lord,
size.
this-
It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper.
Okay. I also want to ask, do you have a changing room where I might change into this clothing here?
Absolutely. And she points her thumb right by the front register.
Ah, yes, I see. Thank you. I'm gonna go in and change into aforementioned outfit at the beginning of this: cargo shorts, sandals, sunglasses, big ostentatious Hawaiian shirt.
Perfectly fine.
And I will also look and see what the paper says.
The paper is a flyer for an upcoming once-a-month fashion show hosted by the one and only domain mistress, Madame Miranda.
Okay, thank goodness. I hate telling the women that that I will not be accepting the advances.
All right.
This is just Barry thinking him to himself in the back of his head
perfectly
as
fine.
he's changing.
Perfectly fine. We'll circle back to you in a minute, and let's hop back over to Raven. So, what did you find that you were looking for?
Joseph did find. Basically, he does think back to what Barry was saying in that, given how old his wardrobe is, like we're talking stuff that has lived through a goddamn war and then like a full century. He really does need like something fresh, something new, but still something his overall style. So he does search for like just the bare minimum, basically a sort of like leather coat per se, and then of course God, I can't fucking English again. And then definitely some pants and shoes.
All right.
I mean, not shoe. I mean, pants and a shirt.
All right. So
Okay, yeah, definitely some slacks he found as well.
perfectly fine.
Uh,
So how much did that total up to?
All he got was a shirt, a coat, pants, and shoes, so that totaled up to 15Z.
Sounds good. Knock that off your total. And when you bring that up to the clerk, who is a bored-looking Persian catwoman with tied-back black hair and an orange uniform T-shirt and a gold name tag stating Maria, she does the same thing that Andrea did for Barry and just takes the coin, puts a bright piece of paper inside a brown paper bag, and hands you your new clothing.
You got a changing room?
She points to the right side of the register, right over there.
Not one for many words. I like that. Joseph will say as he goes to the changing room.
So while you're getting changed too, let's circle back to Ignis. You just finished all your food and found it to be delicious. What do you do now?
I guess just try to look for the other two.
Oh, before I forget, Josh and Parker actually chase you down because they forgot to give you something. Dude, I'm so sorry. I forgot to give you your receipt and the flyer. The meerkat hands you these two pieces of paper, one of which is a handwritten receipt, and the other which is a pink flyer, just like the other two got.
Interesting. Appreciate it.
And then you see them walk away, and you see the two exchange the exact same 5Z coin back because the other one was reaming his ass for forgetting to hand them the paperwork.
That's hilarious.
All right, so
Yeah.
back to Barry. You have officially changed into your new outfit.
Yep.
So what do you do from here? Look for the two of them?
Yeah, I guess we're looking to reconvene now.
Alrighty. And I assume that Joseph's going to be doing the same? Alright, well, all three of you meet back up in the main lobby close to the front doors.
Well, fellas, what do you think? New wardrobe.
I will admit it looks pretty nice.
Thank you. Now, we've still got to at least look for you something. Don't think you're getting off scot-free now.
Fine.
Look, I'm not going to make you buy nothing. I'm just going to make you try something.
Well, here's the
That's
question,
fine.
though. What kind of clothing would Ignis look for? Because the only thing I can think of is maybe something out of the same store that Joseph went into.
Yeah, I guess we could take a look there.
Alrighty, so... You know what? How about we make this more fun? Give me a resources roll to see if you find anything worth your time.
Ignis.
Oh boy. Okay.
Ignis with his plague doctor, not talk so much dad, and Barry, the talks way too much dad. This is great. We're gonna embarrass the fool out of you at the store.
Ignis has two dads. Wait a minute.
Alright.
I mean, hey, we're the oldest members here. We're the oldest members of the group here. We gotta set terrible.
Damn. 3 minuses on a +1.
So much for setting a good example.
Oh well. He didn't find Jack. But since you did go up front, the woman up front also gives you another copy of the same flyer. Alright, so you tried your best and you did not succeed.
Yeah.
Alright, so the three of you have gone and gotten yourself something for you, whether it be food or clothing. You all got a bunch of paperwork. So what are you going to do now?
I guess we could try to buy a vehicle.
I think that might be a little out of our price range right now, brother. If I had to take a guess.
Wait, how much are the vehicles?
We're unemployed right now, brother. Not to mention, like, everything's within walking range. What do we even need a vehicle for?
Yeah, I know. But it would still be nice to at least get one. But seriously, how much are they?
Buying vehicles is most definitely outside of your price range, but you can set up an overtime buy-to-own type of ordeal. You can buy a bike for 25Z straight up. Motorcycles are $2,000, or you can do a $50Z a month on finance. There's also 2 or 4 seater cars, trucks, and Jeeps for $15,000 or $150Z a month. Or you can do 6-seater vans for $25,000 or $250 a month.
Yeah, no.
I like to think we see maybe a poster or an advertisement. It's like, yeah, brother, these are the prices they're putting on the advertisements. We're definitely not gonna be able to afford a vehicle.
Oh no, 100%.
So, are you guys heading out, or?
Well, I mean, we're still in the business district. Might as well. What else do they have here?
Joseph will examine the stores as well as the tags on his clothing that he bought. You find it weird that all of the stores and even the clothing have this weird pink flower embroidered into it?
They do?
Yeah, and true to his word, if you actually take a look at the tags on the back of the clothing, every single one of them has a small pink flower symbol on them.
I reckon it's like a. I never noticed that. You reckon it's like a brand symbol?
Seems to be more than that. Joseph will look at the people walking by and notices the same thing on their clothing.
Half the people walking through the store have that exact same pink flower symbol pinned on their clothing.
I mean, do you think there's maybe just one person who makes all the clothing and then these stores distribute the clothing out?
Possibly.
Could be possible. I mean, we could ask around as well. Given that they've been here longer than us, I'm sure they know more about the clothing and whatnot.
Is this true?
All right, well, you want to go back into the same store you walked in? You just want to grab someone random walking by? Like, how do you want to handle this? I'm letting you guys decide.
I'm kind of leaving it to Joseph. Joseph's really Joseph's the one that's curious.
Yeah.
Joseph will go back into the store and ask, because a store official would probably know more, given that they have to handle stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, the woman behind the counter stares at you for a second, and she points to her own shirt, which has the exact same symbol opposite her name tag. All the clothing in these stores, and pretty much all across the island, were made by Madame Miranda, and every piece has her insignia on them somewhere.
Wait, is this woman what the flyers have been talking about?
Mm-hmm. Her fashion show's this afternoon. In fact, I was planning on hopping off the clock in a few minutes to go down there and see it myself.
You think we should take a look?
I mean, unless
Like
you have
what?
any other plans, we might as well get accustomed to the island while we're forced here.
Assimilate into the culture, brother. Let's go have some fun.
She has to see your map, and she points out a pink spot on the southeast side of the rock wall around Diadem this time.
We're just running around all the corners, aren't we?
So it would appear.
Alright, guess we know where we're next.
All right, well, let's get to stepping.
All right, so you guys get there in about 30 minutes, and since you spent maybe 20 or 30 minutes in the mall, we'll say this is still part of the same day phase. We won't jump ahead that far.
Yeah, fair.
And just like the last one, you come across another golden ring gate, 30 feet wide and tall, with a pink magic wall this time, and it sparkles in random spots other than having any specific image.
Oh, great, it's another one of these.
Wait, alright,
Hey,
well,
you
here
want
we
me to
go.
throw you before? You want me to throw you now?
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, I was joking, but like, I'm nothing if I don't provide to the fans. All right, here we go. I'm gonna throw Joseph through the wall. Not Joseph, excuse me. Ignis.
I mean,
You know what? You know what? I got 2 arms. I'll pick up the both of you and throw you in.
I mean, if I was gonna be honest, I was gonna have Ignis like run through the wall, but having Ignis be thrown is like much funnier.
That's fine. So what'll happen is that Barry will pick you up and just pitch you through the wall. And you know what? Go ahead. Give me a roll. I want to see how badly we can make this.
I'm not actually going to throw Joseph. He didn't ask for this. But, you know, one hand on the collar, one hand on the belt line.
Oh no! You got a +4 roll. All right,
Barry
well,
doesn't half-ass anything, brother.
well, the only people who see this are Ignis, so you go through the pink wall, and you end up crashing head first into a group of metal chairs, folding chairs, no less.
Oh no! Mordecai and Rigby set up those chairs, damn it.
Oh, no. Steve, right?
All right, so there's obviously a few people who were walking over to make sure he's okay and picking up the chairs and setting them back up. But otherwise, I think he's okay. Metal chairs won't do that much damage to someone like him.
Joseph,
Okay.
Let's just say, for the sake of thematics, you took a point of damage from the impact. After all, he did roll a +4.
Yeah.
Yeah. my bad. I mean, you asked for it.
Now, here's the weird
Well, if
part,
it's-
though. Once you actually get your bearings and stand up, you get the strangest sensation of physical imbalance in this area. Kind of like you're riding a boat that never goes truly down.
Hold on, wait, hold on, wait. Okay. No, it's fine. I was about to ask if like Joseph and Barry like went through the wall as well, but
Yeah.
that just answered my question.
Well, Joseph just looks over at Barry and it's like, well, we don't know if he connected with anything on the other side. If it's like the desert, so we'll just have to take a leap of faith too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna throw you though unless you ask me nicely.
You pick me up and I'll kick you, Joseph will say before going in.
I'll walk alongside of it as we walk on through. If you kick me, I'm pretty sure you would just break your own leg. I won't be honest with you.
Now, I'm going to say this. Because of Barry's history with being a surfer boy, he doesn't really feel the unease or physical unbalance of where they are.
Heck yeah.
But Joseph, unfortunately, would, because he's not doing that for so long. So when you step through, you also feel this weird sensation that the ground underneath your feet isn't exactly stable.
What the hell?
Wait, so I'm not the only one that noticed it?
Notice what?
So this time, unlike the previous one, you were inside a large building, and an oddly stylized one at that. The ceilings are all ribbed and supported by overarching steel beams in a metallic pink, while the walls themselves are supported by marble-style columns. Think like an art gallery kind of thing.
Mm.
Now, overhead is a massive glass panel. Hey, Ziv.
There's
He
Ziv.
made it.
All right, so
I just threw Ignis through a wall.
yeah. Overhead is a massive glass panel dome supported by that metal ribbing, but instead of seeing outside through it, each panel glows with a soft, warm light illuminating the entire space.
This place is nice and all, but I still can't shake the feeling of things not being stable.
Behind you, the gate is bound to a metal ribbed wall, just like on the opposite, just like the rest of the area. But on each side of the gate, there are long tables with trays of finger food. One's full of fruit slices on toothpicks, dehydrated veggie chips with ranch dip or guac, and a shrimp and dip tray. And the other one's sweet treats like cupcakes, lemon bars, cherry cream cookies, and several cups of pudge with ice, some of which are pink with a lemon scent.
Lovely.
And on the left and right, you can see that the walls at the ends of the left and right pathways are ceiling-high, wall-to-wall, semi-reflective black panels, with several onlookers chatting with each other and just staring at those walls in silence. You also spot more tables off to the sides, each one with an array of alcoholic drinks and at least one waiter each.
Oh look, Joseph, there you go. There's something here for everybody.
Will I actually get a buzz from this stuff? Yeah, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna taste it regardless.
You have fun with that.
And directly in front of you, you see the center of the room is occupied by a large elevated stage with a walkway path extending out a good 30 feet, which is surrounded by about 50 fold-out chairs in an oval shape, which are the chairs that Ignis crashed into when you threw him. Luckily, you missed the few people who were already sitting in the chair, which appear to just be well-dressed attendees, maybe some writers and photographers, all chattering with each other while staring at you.
And Ignis or all of us?
Ignis, specifically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And,
Yeah.
And behind the stage, you actually do see a separate wall with 4 additional doors. And they're all marked from left to right: private quarters, MGE room, studio, and boutique.
Bird's going over to get some snacks.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Ignis is gonna explore the stage.
Sure.
Well, we all know where Joseph is going and what he's filling his canteen with.
Sounds good. Let's start with Ignis this time, then. When you approach the stage, you see that it looks relatively normal. It's metal and wood combination, well stylized, supported by some marble columns along the back part where the curtain is that keeps everyone behind it separate from everybody out front. Now, in the seats, though, you see a Binturong woman with shoulder-length brown hair in a stunning blue dress and a gold name tag reading Selena, who catches your attention, pulling out a pen and notepad, and approaches Ignis specifically.
Oh, why, hello there.
Hi there, Selena from Diadem Daily. I happen to notice you flying through the air and knocking over the scene display. Are you okay, and what the hell happened?
Okay, so, first off, I'm fine. Secondly, I just asked a companion of mine to throw me behind a wall.
Do I want to know why?
No, you don't.
Okay, I'll just take that at face value. Okay, well, thanks for indulging me, but I do recognize the look of a fish out of water. Is this the first time at one of Miranda's shows?
Yeah, it is.
Well, I can tell you right now that Madame Miranda is a mixed bag personality. She goes back and forth with being the center of attention and making others the center of her attention very quickly. And she always graces the audience with her presence toward the tail end of her shows, so if you were looking to meet her, I recommend you stick around. All right.
Well, thank you for the information.
Happy to do it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I see a very large bug man who appears to be eating all the hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
don't mind.
polite, damn it.
Yeah,
The only reason
don't
I
mind.
ate 2 full buckets of popcorn by myself is because I paid for them.
All right, so let's switch over to Raven this time. And let's see. Did you go to the left hall or the right hall? Both of them have the same things, the black panel walls and a bar, but there is a slight difference between the two. Just pick one if you prefer.
We'll go to the right hall.
All right. Well, you do see the stark black walls in front of you, and against the corner, you spot a well-groomed toucan man with tightly trimmed black hair and a gray vest over a white button front shirt, and black pants with a black tie holding a gold clip with a gold name tag stating Killian. He stands behind a small bar, quickly serving a myriad of colorful cocktails, but you do notice several of them are varying shades of pink.
Joseph will walk over to the bar and sit down, ask, one shot, please.
He simply nods and pulls out a small shot glass and pours you a shot of what looks like some straight pink whiskey.
Joseph will down the shot. Given that it's also clearly a different whiskey, he is going to notice like the difference in taste, and he'll mentally say to himself, "It doesn't taste like shit. Alcohol that doesn't taste like shit."
Worse than that, not only does it not taste like shit, you actually feel the faintest of a buzz coming from it this time.
Oh no!
Oh no!
No, don't get Joseph's hopes up. No.
I said faintest of a buzz, man. Like, it's not much, but it's enough to go on.
Joseph is in fucking glee at feeling something at least, even if it won't get him drunk.
Yeah, I was only about to jokingly say, like, imagine if I could get him drunk now.
After he does that, he pours you another one and says both of these are on the house.
Joseph will pass over his canteen and be like, "Can you fill this?"
He just smirks and grabs the canteen, my kind of guy, grabs the bottle and just pours the whole thing in.
Yeah. Let's go, Joseph.
He straight up says, "Don't worry about paying for this either. It's all paid in advance by Madame Miranda's event budget."
I'll probably take advantage of that.
Mr. Joseph just met his favorite person in this whole campaign. The bartender with booze that can actually get him drunk.
We'll give him a buzz, but we'll have to see.
I mean, you got a buzz after one shot. This is so exciting. I'm so happy for you.
Joseph could probably now finally dull the pain in his soul.
While you're sitting back and enjoying your drink, you hear a voice behind you saying, excuse me, over here, please."
Joseph turns around.
You see a young gopher man with slicked back brown hair and a basic button front white dress shirt, and he aims an old-fashioned camera in your direction.
What's with the flash photography?
He's about to snap the photo, but he pauses and lowers the camera, revealing his red bow tie and a gold name tag stating Stan. Wait a sec. I recognize you. You're the guys that fight the Marauders, right? The local heroes? Okay, now I have to take a photo.
Okay, please turn the flash off before you do.
He does, but you still get momentarily blinded from the bold flash, even with it turned down. You see him squee in excitement like a child. Awesome! The chief will be ecstatic! Once I get it printed, can I bring you a copy for an autograph?
Wait, hold up. You want my autograph?
Are you kidding me? You're the most interesting person that's been in this domain since Miranda herself.
Damn.
That is
He
That
just
is
ain't.
very. That is a very bold thing, and I have not had any admirers, and I've lost count. But do whatever you please.
Stan realizes that he hasn't introduced himself probably. I'm so sorry. I am Stan. I work with Diadem Daily. We're the newspaper company for the City of Diadem, and I cannot tell you how rare it is to see people with actual style. Most of what we get are soldiers.
Does he not know?
Why would he? He's never met you before.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm definitely putting this autograph photo in my book, right next to this amazing photo I just took of Miranda earlier.
The shopping trip was worth it. He said
What
Joseph has style.
Although I gotta say, between you and Miranda, this view is an incredibly close third, and he just stares at those black panels against the back wall.
There was 4 of us, me included, though I do have to wonder what about my fashion makes me stand out. We got other competitors.
I'll be sure to dig them up when I get a chance to. But, you'll excuse me, I see a bug man eating the hors d'oeuvres.
Yep, that's one of the 4. You might be able to judge him if you're fast enough.
Alright, so we're gonna pause this real quick and focus on Zibeth for a few minutes to get Chimo caught up on everything that's been happening. So, you took off first thing in the morning to go and do your own thing, and you said you went down to go to see the Thunder Force. Alright, so when you arrive at the Thunder Force branch office, the 2-story precinct building looks relatively basic, the bottom half made of stylized brick and the top half basic concrete. There's no hanging sign like the other buildings in your area, but you do see a few Thunder Force officers walking in and out of the main doors, as well as normal people who all seem a little bit excited, but they're, it makes it pretty obvious what this is. So, do you go inside, or?
While that is happening, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
You do that. Yeah, take a break if you need to. This will take a few minutes. Chimo looks around and decides to step into the building. There are several more officers inside, but they don't seem to be focusing on anything in particular. They're just kind of setting up what looks like an array of chairs off to the sides and a small clearing in the middle of the office area. It's a bit hard to see anything of any specific nature, but the inside of the building is mostly a circular hallway of closed doors. But you do spot off in the corner Commander Harkin from before. Other than that, you really don't see anybody who stands out or that you recognize. She looks around if there was any sign of some sort of reception, but then she spots a known face from before, which was the commander, so she approaches him. Sup, Harkin, that was your name, right? I searched for you, and as it happened, I spotted you just now, since I couldn't find any sort of reception or to talk with anyone here. Do you maybe have time for a talk, Four Eyes? And Harkin just kind of slow turns to her with a very significantly irritated look in his eyes. And he says, "Oh, it's you. I suppose I have a few minutes to talk, but we're in the preparations for doing Thunder Force interviews this evening. What can I do for you?"
I am back.
Welcome back. So while the others decided to fool around on the island, I had the idea to do something worthwhile with my time, and something for the group in particular, and that is earning money for them while they decide to goof around and throw our credits out the window. Besides, the Thunder Force thing seems very interesting and looks like some excitement for me, and I'm a very strong fighter. Looks like a win-win situation for the both of us, don't you think? Harkin raises an eyebrow and thinks for a second. I do recall your battle prowess from when I first saw you. You might be a fine addition. However, interviews don't start until this evening, so I would recommend you come back in a little bit. Still a bit too early in the morning to be doing interviews. Sounds fine to me. So do you need any sort of written thing for this, like we have in our world for jobs, or do I just show up in the evening? Harkin puts his clipboard underneath his arm and crosses his arms. The way it usually works is, whoever's interested in trying out comes to the front. We'll have somebody waiting to check you in. They'll write your name down, they'll give you a number, and when your number's called, you give a little demonstration. Nothing serious. Weapon demonstration, magic demonstration, speech demonstration. And then we get your evaluation done through that, and we send you the results in about a week, if not sooner. If you make it past the initial round of interviews, then we'll talk paperwork. Alright, that sounds fun. I'll see you guys in the evening. With a respectful wave, she turns around and leaves the building, going back to their home, preparing for the evening. Harkin watches her. Harkin heads out the door with her. Well, as it happens, I'm heading out too. We're getting everything set up this morning so I can attend the fashion event this afternoon at Madame Miranda's. All right, so that's basically what you're going to be doing this afternoon, is preparing for the Thunder Force interview this evening? All right, so that's pretty straightforward and simple. We'll leave that as it is, and we'll circle back to that when the time is right. In the meantime, I'm going to finish up with the other 3 so we can get everybody else caught up. Okay, so Barry was raiding the food tables and was interviewed by both Selena and the photographer, whose name escapes me for this moment in time.
Stan.
Thank you. Wow. Joseph is probably still chatting up the bartender and just enjoying his booze.
In a gist, but he is limiting himself, surprisingly.
Alright, and Ignis should still be... Well, actually, he was talking to the people at the stage, but clearly that person he was talking to has walked away, so what are you doing now?
I guess Ignis will look at the 4 doors in the back wall.
The 4 doors are as follows from left to right. The leftmost room is a guarded room that has 2 tall bodyguards with slick back hair, pressed suits, and sunglasses, because of course they do, just staring with arms crossed at everybody who walks by. The second door is the MGE room, which has a short line of people of all ages in front of it, and it's a giant hatch-like door, but most of them appear to be older children or young adults. Third one is marked Studio, which has a short line of people of all ages in front of another hatch-like door, but most of them look like college students or young adults. And the fourth one is the Boutique, which is an open-door boutique and is loaded with what can only be years' worth of designer clothing, filled to the brim with every manner of shirt, skirt, top, 1-, 2-, and 3-piece outfit, multiple matching sets of shoes for each, magic rings in a pink hue, and tons of other accessories.
Okay, and there is no specific details on the MGE room?
Not listed out there on the front, but if you wanted to, you could walk up to the front, because there is a person standing at the front running the line and letting people in set intervals. You could ask them.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm curious. Let's see.
Alright, well, when you walk up to the front of the line from the side, you're met at the door by a teenage boy in an indigo hoodie behind a podium, his pink name tag reading Calum. And yes, he's standing on a stool.
Wait, is this the same Calum as before? The one?
It might be.
Wait, is this... Alright, let's go to him.
He looks up and, noticing out of the corner of his eye that somebody's approaching from outside the line, and goes, it's you again. So it's 1Z for 5 minutes per person if you want in, and you can do whatever you want in there, just nothing dangerous or seen.
What even is behind this door?
Right, you wouldn't know that. The MGE is the microgravity environment. You ever been in a 0G room? It's basically that.
Been to one of those either.
But you do know what it is.
I'm gonna be honest. No, I don't.
It's a place where they remove all gravity and let you float around and do silly things.
Oh, it's one of those.
And just as soon as you say that, the door slides open to release a small group of people that are all having a little difficulty walking straight. In fact, you'd argue that the way that they're walking is very physically similar to the sensation you experienced when you first tried to stand up.
You know what? This could be some good practice. Sign me up.
Alright, well, it'll be about a 15-minute wait. We got 3 more groups going in ahead of you. How long were you planning on getting in?
Get me in there for 15.
Alright, we'll have 3Z at the ready. You'll be the last party before the fashion show starts. So, you got 15 minutes to kill. He rips off a little piece of paper with a number on it. It says 42. He hands it to you and says, come back here in 15 minutes or we're giving your group slot in the group to the next people in line.
Alright, so do I pay now or do I pay when I get in?
You pay when you get in. There's no sense in asking you to pay now when you might not even make it.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so circling back to, let's see. I guess now we go back to Barry because they have officially finished interviewing him. Stan is obviously fawning over now, no differently than how he was fawning over Joseph. But they've officially stopped their interview and have walked over to the middle of the area where the stadium is, where the walkway is for the fashion show. And they're just kind of patiently sitting down and waiting and talking to each other, reviewing the photos and interviews they've gotten so far. And there are still a couple dozen people standing out at the black walls, just kind of staring into space at them, wondering, and for no apparent reason, and half of them are just kind of quiet. Creepy quiet.
Can I look where they're looking?
There's nothing stopping you from going over and looking.
Sure, yeah. Hell with it.
All right, give me 1 second.
Surely I don't get, like, mind controlled or something.
Right.
Surely nothing bad will happen from looking at this wall.
All right, you know what? Just for the sake of argument, could you do me a favor and give me a quick investigate roll?
Yes, I can roll you a straight D20. Not D20, but...
Okay. You know what? I can work with a 0 roll. I was just hoping it wasn't a minus. So when you approach the walls, they're actually giant glass panels, and they, obviously because they're glass, they show a distorted, half-transparent image of your own face. But when you look through them, you spot several very tiny white dots in the distance, and they're all faintly glittering. And I'm going to assume that you went to the same one where Joseph is.
Yeah.
I figured as much. I figured as much. And
Joseph, what you make of this?
You make of what? Joseph says as he stands up from the bar.
And you know what? Since you did such a good investigate roll previously, your attention would probably still be active on whatever it is that you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply that investigate roll to this. When you approach, you catch something in your peripherals down below at the bottom of the glass wall.
What in the goddamn? There's something down at the bottom in the distance.
I mean, there's a bunch of things in here. I see little sparklies.
Yeah, but look closer. There's a massive sphere. Blue, too. What is up with that? It's...
Nanashi, do I see this?
Now that he's drawn your attention to it, you do in fact see a massive sphere, mostly blue, but with some smaller spots of white on top and green and brown along the sides.
Oh, that's... Huh. Can I, like... You know how, like, when someone gently taps on an aquarium fish tank, can I gently tap on the glass?
You can. You know what?
If anything
Sure.
happens?
You can. You can.
Just don't do it too hardly or you'll break it.
Well, I said gently. You know, Barry knows how to restrain himself most of the time.
When you
Yeah, I know, but like...
Before
Can
you
we just,
But,
can we
like,
just
and
make an
everyone gets
athletics
sucked-
roll real quick?
there's no need for that. It's just a tap.
That's a
tap.
joke. It's a joke.
Yeah, that's making sure. You do a
Yeah, I
tap
was about
tap.
to-
You do a tap tap with the back of your knuckle, and the glass reverberates dully, like there's nothing on the opposite side of it.
Does anything on the other side react?
No, but actually, no, nothing reacts on the other side. There is literally nothing out there anywhere close to these glass panels. But when you move around a little bit, you notice that sphere looming below has not moved an inch despite you moving left and right or forward and back. It's just kind of stagnant in comparison to where you are. Also, I should mention, that sphere looks very familiar.
Out of character, how familiar are we talking about?
Like you've seen it every single day of your life.
Is it Earth?
Yep.
I kind of guessed when you described the sphere.
You are staring
Wait.
at the planet Earth below you.
Wait, hold up. Joseph will examine it further.
It's like, is it?
Because in character, we've not... I assume we're slowly coming to that conclusion in character the more we examine
Is
it.
that-
That's what I was trying to. Yeah, that's what I was trying to help you guys
it's
get
like,
to.
well, if you look at it, it's mostly blue, with them green with them green spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't those kind of look like continents? Like, look, that's the tip of Florida right there. That's the whole outline. Joseph, are we looking at the planet Earth we're standing on?
On one hand, I would say it's very far-fetched that we just transported from Earth to a giant place in space, but given that the last gate took us to the goddamn desert that was endless, despite, not being possible for this island, I wouldn't put it past them to somehow work this, and upon arriving...
Wait, that's why the glass felt like it had nothing on the other side.
Well, I was also gonna say that upon coming in, the gravity did feel a bit weird, though you probably didn't feel that.
And From behind you, you hear Ignis recognizes this voice, a female laugh, chuckling behind you, just going, "First time to the satellite, boys?"
Oh, goodness. Oh.
Gee, our
Sneak up on a
shocked
big man like
expressions
that.
didn't give it away.
And right at that moment, Stan takes a photo of all your bewildered faces.
Ignis covers his face due to the flash.
I mean, Joseph has a mask on, so it's not really much of a face.
Wait, you kept the mask?
Oh, yeah.
Duh!
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of mentally checked out when you were getting new clothes. I kind of hoped that we can get you without the mask for a little bit.
Oh, by the way, Ignis, it's been about 15 minutes. Your time in line is next.
Oh, okay, hell yeah, I'm going.
You see Ignis take off in the direction of the 4 doors against the back wall, specifically waiting in line for the MGE room.
Ignis, what you doing?
I'm up next.
You following?
I mean, was it just... Barry doesn't know. Was it just him, or like, are we allowed to as a group?
I mean, there's nothing stopping you from walking behind him to find out what's going on.
Shit, I'm down.
Joseph is just gonna follow because he's kind of bored of the bar at the moment.
That's fine. And when you two approach, you also see the same child that he was speaking to with the indigo hoodie. And he says, "Oh,
Hello? Dude,
I see you found your group."
You were just on the other side of the city.
I walk fast.
You know what? I'm not gonna read into it any further than that.
You're still reading into the stuff we've just seen? This whole island is weird.
I mean, we're not on an island anymore.
Okay, so to give you to the rundown, behind that door is basically like an anti-gravity area. And I saw a group of people like walking out like wobbly, kind of like how we experienced a while ago. So I
mean,
figured.
The way you two
It's
expressed a while ago, I'm not gonna lie, I felt fine coming on here.
Well, yeah, of course you're fine. So like I figured that like if I go in there, then I could like practice so that I can remain stable.
I mean,
It's probably not that big of a deal.
Okay, Caleb, how much to get in?
It's a Z for
It's-
5 minutes, and he's planning to pay for 15, which is about all the time we have before the show starts. So if you want in, I can let you into it, but you'll have to pay.
Barry's gonna pull out 15Z. All right, I'm ready. I'm down.
Okay. Here's your change. It's 1Z for 5
Yeah,
minutes.
it's
Well, oh no, we were gonna. Ignis was going in for 15 minutes, wasn't he?
Yeah, so that's 3Z.
Oh, did I say the wrong number?
You did. You said 15.
yes. You said 15. Yeah, you said 15.
Oh, okay, I'll give him
Yeah,
3Z.
you made a similar mistake I did
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
medium.
All right. And what about you, Joseph? You going into?
Just shrugs his shoulders, gives 3, and then goes in with them.
All right. Well, inside is a 50-foot long, tall, and wide empty room. The walls and ceilings lined with thick white padding in a square grid formation. Basically looks like a giant nut house. But once the door shuts behind you, you hear a soft humming noise, and the walls begin to glow a soft pink. That sensation of physical unbalance becomes magnified as you suddenly lift off the ground entirely, slowly drifting and floating toward the ceiling. You are now in a zero-gravity room.
At this moment, Barry is going to have the figurative light bulb pop above his head. Wait a minute. Isn't pink the color of space magic?
I cannot believe you just realized that.
Well, okay. Yeah, on one hand I want to argue, but yeah, this is like kind of what finally tipped me off. Yeah, yeah.
Joseph
At
just
first
looks
I'm like, damn, this madam whatever really loves the color pink. Suddenly it makes so much more sense.
The next 15 minutes are free for you guys to just do whatever zero-G shenanigans you want.
Hey, Ignis, you want me to throw you again?
You know what? Sure.
Don't agree. You were supposed to agree
Yes.
after the last time.
Well, excuse me.
Hey,
Practice
Okay.
for situations such as this.
aw. Well, you threw him, but he still went all the way, but he kind of just softly bounced off the door this time instead of doing anything more serious.
I couldn't get no traction, brother. There ain't no gravity.
There you go. And how about you, Joseph? What are you doing? I assume alcohol and zero-G is something you've never experienced.
Joseph is like pouring a bit out of his flask to test how it does, but then he is gonna comment saying, "Hey, I never thought I'd have to experience zero gravity bullshit ever again. Only once on that one mission."
What do you mean again?
You know, I get the feeling that if you guys ever go back and find Joseph's book in the library, it's just going to be so fucking massive. There's probably going to be 3 separate volumes.
Oh dear God.
Listen, there's a lot
Yeah,
of missions that were
No,
off
here's
the
a thought.
record, off the...
No, here's a thought, right? The dude that ran the library, I don't forgot his name. Damn it. I'm gonna start
Conroy.
writing down all your names. Conroy. Conroy said there was 3 entirely new books written. Those were all just Joseph's.
You know what? He probably didn't even realize that.
You know how many fucking missions Joseph has been on?
No!
How much the
'Cause
man
you
has
won't-
seen?
Because you won't tell us.
Give it
Joseph
time.
won't
It'll
tell us
come up
more
on its
stories.
own. But
Yeah.
let's say you guys basically just fucked around in there for 15 minutes, throwing each other into walls. Ignis getting a chance to throw Barry for once because there's no gravity stopping him. And Joseph basically just fucking around, creating globules of alcohol floating around in the open air and basically
Without
diving at them
gravity,
like Pac-Man.
could you pour the alcohol out of the flask?
Would that be fair?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds pretty reasonable.
All right.
That sounds like what we'd be doing.
All right. Well, after the 15 minutes are up, the glow of the walls softens, lowering you all to the ground relatively safely, except for Barry, because the second that magic wears off, because of his size, he actually hits the ground kind of hard. Not enough to do damage, but enough to make his butt sore.
Yeah. No, I want to imagine I was practically almost doing the breaststroke through, and then all of a sudden just oomph.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was more so imagine he face first.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, it's like when you belly flop onto your bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. All right, and the hatch doors slide open, and now you can see that pretty much everybody who was against those back walls has moved into one of the seats for the fashion show. And several more people have even started showing up, mostly curious onlookers, but some of them in decent dressy clothing and a few fashionista types that you'd expect to see at an event like this. In fact,
Makes sense.
once the door opens, the light begins to dim overhead in the various halls, leaving only the stage in the center lit up, which causes everyone to scramble for a decent seat. Even Calum's no longer at the stool.
Oh, I guess we ought to go get some seats then.
Well, you are
Guess
able
so.
to grab some seats without too much difficulty. They made sure there was more than enough.
Yeah, here's hoping Ignis didn't actually properly damage any with his face on the way in.
You know what?
Yeah,
Let
I
me roll
meant,
for that. Let me roll for that.
Why did I say anything? Dang it!
Let's just see.
No, wait, no, I meant Barry, face down instead of on his rear.
Ah, no. But as it happens, the chairs are all perfectly fine as well. They're apparently pretty sturdy.
Just imagine if there was one chair that just had a perfect imprint of Ignis's face in it.
Now,
Cartoonishly.
you hear some runway music start up, and you see the same young boy in an indigo hoodie with white shorts, short white hair, and a pink name tag reading Calum step out on stage, microphone in hand. And he looks a little nervous speaking in front of an audience, and just kind of staring out at everyone for a second before he manages to calm himself down with a deep breath. Because he's clearly not used to talking to people, as I'm sure you've learned. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending Madame Miranda's latest fashion show. We are here to show off the latest and greatest omni-seasonal line of clothing for year-round function and fashion. And the show starts pretty much the second he hops off the stage. Now, this is just a 20-minute fashion show, and although it's awkward to anyone who's never attended one, it goes off completely flawlessly. You see a line of sporty summer clothing in muted colors being shown off by male and female athletes, which obviously would appeal to Barry because they're his size.
Yeah.
Fall clothing in earthly toned colors shown off by mostly female theater students, which would be something closer to what Ignis would be interested in. Winter clothing being split between straight black or solid white ensembles, mostly worn by tall male students, which I suppose would be interesting to Joseph. And a line of spring clothing of vibrant ponchos and umbrellas with Easter color sweaters thrown in, worn by mostly cheerleader types. And Each time, little Caleb has been introducing each item or combo of clothing and mentioning which person invented the piece, meaning that they were not all invented by Madame Miranda.
Interesting.
And at the end of the show, Caleb hops back up on stage, looking much more confident now that he's been talking for a few minutes. Every item you saw will be available in the seasonal stores at Diadem Mall in 2 weeks. And now for the woman who made this whole event possible, the domain mistress and the hostess of the evening, Madame Miranda. He hops right back down off the stage, and from the curtains steps a caramel brown griffiness in a black flowing dress trimmed in pink highlights with split sides showing off her legs clad in thigh-high stilettos. Her generous chest draws attention to her unusual neck plumage, dark brown feathered wings, and a lion's tail swaying behind her. Her dark brown beak, amber avian eyes accented by a soft pink glow, and elongated ears are perfectly framed by her rounded brown haircut topped with a single pink flower in her hair. Caleb hands her the
description.
Yeah, I had to make sure that this was done properly. I'm sorry.
I compliment, applaud. Wait.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Caleb hands her the microphone, which she takes and playfully pats him on the head for, causing him to get flustered and walk off the stage in a hurry. Thank you all for coming out to see tonight's new lines. These talented tailors and seamstresses put tremendous work into everything you see here, and the models did a marvelous job making it look damn good. She pauses for the mix of applause and hooting and hollering to run its course. As Caleb said, these pieces will be available in the Diadem Mall for purchase in 2 weeks, but anyone wanting early access can buy them in the on-ship boutique right now while supplies last. She tosses Caleb the microphone as everyone applauds and spreads her wings, hopping off the stage and gliding out beyond the audience toward the gateway, laughing the whole way. And most of the audience immediately stood up and made a mad dash for the boutique to get their hands on the clothing early.
Do any of us want to go chance that, actually, let me say this in character. Do either of you fellows feel like chancing that mad rush for fashion?
I don't even deal with Black Friday crowds. I feel like this is more deadlier.
The few audience members that are left basically just talk to each other in the seating, and the two interviewers that you talked to earlier are actually over talking to Miranda, standing by the gateway, taking herself a sip of punch.
Though I will say it's at least nice that we visited here. She seems like a very important figure on the island, and we learned a lot more.
Learn the culture.
So where are you guys going to go now?
That is a good question. I don't know. I feel like we've had ourselves a good old day. We can maybe just
head home?
Get some dinner to go and head home.
Yeah, I was gonna say we made a lot of progress in this one day as far as uncovering a lot of the island. We managed to get several locations and key NPCs pinned down, so we can take a break there.
That sounds fine. So let's say you guys are probably going to head home then? Well, before you go though, as you're walking toward the gate where Miranda is standing beside, her attention immediately focuses on your group, and she just drops the conversation with her current interviewers and struts right up to all three of you. Well, hello there, new faces. I hope you all enjoyed the show as much as I did.
Oh. Okay, here we go. Barry's gonna try and be charismatic. I hope y'all are ready for this, because I, as a player, don't know how to do it.
Give it your best shot, man. Give it your best shot.
Relatable.
Madam Miranda, well, the show was very marvelous to behold. There's many fantastic lines of clothing that you and your people have worked so hard on, I imagine.
Oh, we worked very hard. Every single one of us made sure to put every drop of effort we could into making every piece on this line look damn good.
The effort well spent, as far as I could see.
Well, it's always fun to get appreciation. You know, at some point, you and I might need to see if we can find something specifically to fit you.
I, as a player, was not ready for this.
Well, and she knows that she's got you in a bit of a tizzy, so she actually walks over to Joseph next. Well, hello there, soldier boy.
You managed to get that much out of me just from a mere glance?
Well, the gun, the way you carry yourself, it all screams military.
Sure, I was a soldier once, but I'm a freelancer now.
I might have to give you a special assignment sometime.
50-50, a bit busy really these days.
Well, hopefully not too busy to have a little fun sometime.
Sorry, lady, but there was only one woman in my memory, and, well, can't say you'll be able to replace her.
Well, it doesn't mean I can't make my shots. And as for you, she walks over to Ignis and just gives him a once-over. I love hot little tamales like you. You always have something special to offer.
Oh, I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that. No, but
And I know how I felt when I was fucking frozen for a few seconds.
Ignis just stands frozen.
She just kind of smirks, knowing full well she's flustered all three of you, and just crosses her arms under her generous chest. So, as long as you're here, is there anything else I can do for you today, or are you planning on heading out?
After the day we had, we were planning on calling it here.
Well, that sounds like a fine idea. I could actually use a bit of stress relief myself. Don't suppose any of you be interested in volunteering, would you?
Barry can't handle this situation anymore. He's gonna walk through the gate.
Neither can Ignis.
Retreat! Tactical retreat!
Yeah, out of all the situations Ignis has gotten himself into, this is the most difficult.
Well, she just kind of wiggles her fingers at your group. See you next time.
Joseph has just had a straight face this whole time as he's just brushing her off, and then just walks towards the gate when she leaves.
Barry's got like hunched over with his hands on his knees on the other side, just ugh. Ugh. Ugh.
I was not expecting her to be like that.
Yeah, not gonna lie, Horny Griffin caught me off guard.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were prepared for that.
That was kind of the point. This whole game is full of stuff that you will never be prepared for, and that's kind of the point.
Honestly fair.
Now you see, if I had made any of the character that wasn't Barry, this would be great. But I made Barry. I was like, man.
Like, oh dear God, I was not expecting that at all.
That was.
Oh my god, given the short bits I've provided to sort of set it up, I can't wait for any poor unfortunate soul who sees Joseph's volumes and is just
Listen,
like, what the fuck am I reading?
We have punched Hitler in the face, went through zombie apocalypse, has been in space before.
Well,
and
not in
apparently had
space,
one
but
woman.
but basically under the effects of, because I would assume there was still space magic around during that time being utilized.
Okay, so, Ziv, because we've already been recording for 3 hours now, we're pretty much done for this particular session. We're going to pick it up next week at around the same time, and what we're going to do is, since you didn't really have much involvement in this one, you're going to basically be the forefront of the subject of the next one. That way, you can do the Thunder Force thing, and we can give you proper dedication to it all. Sound fair? Alright, well, let's say you guys all make a mad dash back for the house this afternoon, and you'll meet back up with Chimo, who is currently getting ready for her own thing, and we will continue this next session right then and there with Chimo at the forefront. You get home and open the door, planning on what you're going to do for the rest of the afternoon, which you mentioned you were going to go for dinner, but at the same time, when you get inside, you see that a lot of your guys' furniture and personal belongings that are sitting in the living room have been scratched, pecked, and bird shot all over, and you see a very content chicken sitting in the middle of the living room like he did nothing wrong.
You little bastard.
Yeah, maybe leaving him in the middle of an open house with nothing to keep him out of your stuff is not the smartest idea.
Yeah, clearly.
Clearly.
So, are you guys still planning on keeping him, or are you gonna like?
I mean, we told the people at the theater about him. We can't get rid of him now. Just be like, hey, we're here to see if maybe your chicken is actually our friend. Oh yeah, well he tore up all our shit, so we barbecued him. Like, we know we're not gonna do that.
Well, then maybe what you should do is maybe make a chicken coop or something for him so he doesn't break everything again.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's probably Yeah, we're probably gonna have to take care of that sooner rather than later.
Well, right off the top of my head, the best place to go for that would be to get some supplies from the hardware store or something, so we'll leave that to a decision on a future session.
Well, Kalen
Alright.
did say we did get introduced to Kalen as he works at a pet store, so maybe we could actually just get something there.
Maybe. Couldn't hurt to swing by and ask him, too.
Yeah. I mean,
Alright.
it's a bunch of stores. They'll all be in the business district anyway.
Exactly. So we'll leave that decision on the next session, possibly the one after, depending on how long it takes you guys to come up with a solution to this. But in the meantime, I thank all of you guys for showing up again, and I'm glad you're having fun. So I'm going to hop off now while I have a little time to spend with the missus. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.